Hi everyone, Stacy here. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. So today we're going to talk about Jupiter moving into the sign of Leo for the next year and what that could mean for each and every one of us. Now, before I dive into all 12 signs, I just want to take a quick opportunity to thank each and every one of you for liking my content, sharing out my content, and subscribing to my channel. I truly appreciate the love and the support. And of course, I am sending that back to you tenfold. So thank you so much for that. Also, another quick reminder, I do not have your personal birth chart sitting in front of me, so do keep that in mind. In this video, and actually all my videos on my YouTube channel, I do use Western tropical astrology, and I also use a whole sign house system. But when I work with my clients one-on-one, I also incorporate the Placidus house system as well, because I find those angles, those cusps, are really sensitive in the Placidus birth chart. So take what resonates in these videos and leave the rest. I do recommend that you watch for your sun sign. And if you know your time of birth, you can certainly watch for your rising sign as well. I think watching both of those would probably give you a high level overview of what to expect with Jupiter moving through the sign of Leo. You can certainly watch for your moon sign or Venus or Mars, or if you have a stellium in a respective sign, you can certainly watch for that, as long as that doesn't confuse you though, because sometimes if you're watching for too many signs, it's, next thing you know, you're getting 6 or 7 different horoscopes. So just some food for thought there. Also, if you're a cuspy baby, so if you are born late in the season, or if you have your sun or rising sign at say 25 degrees to 29 degrees of any sign, you can certainly watch for the next sign over, and you should be able to pick up some information or some nuggets of details that will kind of give you, again, a high level overview of what to expect with this transit. And of course, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, check out the link in the description box below, and I'd be more than happy to work with you. And we can check out this Jupiter transit among all the other incredible transits that are happening in the sky in 2026 and beyond. Also, just a reminder, timestamps down below. So if you want to jump around, if you want to jump right to your sign, you can certainly do so as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go over a little bit more information about Jupiter and also the energy that Leo can bring to the table as well. So Jupiter does take 1 year to move through each sign. So it takes him approximately 12 years to move through the entire zodiac wheel. Now, I'm sure if you've been following me for a while, I've been harping about this for quite some time. When the outer planets, so the outer planets are Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, and I have been, I think, talking about this since 2022, 2023. They have all shifted into brand new territory, which is extremely rare to experience what I would call back to back to back. Because again, Pluto takes 250 years to move through the entire zodiac wheel. Neptune is 165, Uranus is about 84 years, and even Saturn is about 29 years. So when the outer planets move into new signs or new territories or new elements, they foreshadow usually brand new shifts, slowly but surely incoming into the collective consciousness. So all of us as a collective. Now, Saturn and Jupiter are the social planets because they move around the zodiac wheel a little bit more quicker compared to, again, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. And Jupiter and Saturn actually help us adapt to the outer planets or the collective energies that these outer planets bring into their respective signs and in our respective birth charts for that matter as well. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So Jupiter is one of those helpers that does try to bring in the blessings and the support and the expansion and the growth from his lens, from his perspective. And also on top of that helps us lean into, Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, and also Neptune in Aries as well. By the way, I have links in the description box below for Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, and also Uranus in Gemini if you're interested in learning more about those respective planets, those transits, and what that could mean for each and every one of us as well. Okay, so who is Jupiter? In a nutshell, just to keep it basic here, he rules over exploration, expansion, growth, faith, optimism, joy. It's where we are naturally lucky and abundant in the birth chart, but it also depends on how your Jupiter is supported in your personal birth chart as well. That also adds in an additional layer. Jupiter rules over two signs, so he rules Pisces and Sagittarius. Now, Pisces, I get it, is co-ruled. I like using the traditional planets myself. So yes, Pisces is also co-ruled by Neptune, but Neptune is a more modern planet. I like using the traditional planets, which actually stop at Saturn. But anyway, Jupiter in a nutshell does rule over Saturn and Pisces. He also has a connection or an affiliation with the 9th house in astrology and also the 12th house of astrology. So really quickly, 12th house is all about endings. It's kind of like preparing for that brand new fresh start. When anything moving through the 12th house, it's kind of like that final breaking down moment before something brand new and fresh comes through into that first house. So it's endings, it's letting go, it's undoing, it's solitude. It's also where our hidden gifts, talents, and abilities lie as well in the 12th house. It can also be a very spiritual house as well. 9th house is also about spirituality as well. Religion, ethics, belief systems is in the 9th house. Anything to do with long distance traveling or anything at a distance. Jupiter in general, I notice when he's making transits in the birth chart, can also indicate a move internationally, for example, or traveling internationally, getting a job with a global company and you're traveling more. So Jupiter is definitely that global connection, which is really interesting as well, or bringing in blessings from a distance and also connecting us to individuals that kind of push us outside of our comfort zone. So they could come from a different cultural background, a different belief system, or quite literally another country, for example. Now, Leo energy. So that's kind of Jupiter in a really quick nutshell there. Now, Leo, he's moving into Leo. So what does that mean for each and every one of us? So I have some basic examples on the slide here of what, on the right-hand side, of what Leo, as I mentioned, brings to the table. So affection, creativity, joy, pleasure. It's that incredible optimism. Actually, Leo and Sagittarius and Jupiter sort of have that in common, is that incredible optimism. Very magnetic energy. Now, Leo's not the only one that has some of these qualities, but again, I want to keep the spotlight on Leo here. Yes, Leo's dramatic. It's Hollywood, Bollywood. Again, what would we do without entertainment? Leo has that connection to the 5th house of entertainment, of joy, of pleasure, of putting people up on a pedestal. You know, it's the glamazons coming out of the, like I said, Hollywood. You know, it's the red lipstick and the big hair and all that fun stuff. And children as well. You know, Leo has that connection to children and grandchildren. So Jupiter is going to expand even more this energy. So just think about that over the next year. Also, Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun never goes retrograde. So the two signs that are ruled over the sun and the moon, so Leo has the sun, Cancerians have the moon. Those two signs have something very unique in common. They always have to be on. I find Leos and Cancerians, they always have to be on because their rulers never, ever, ever go backwards in the sky. So that's also going to weave into this transit with Jupiter moving through Leo. Now, eclipse season though, Leos and Cancerians are extremely impacted by eclipse season because again, these rulers never go backwards, but their rulers are impacted during eclipse season because one or the other is blocking each other out, or it's the earth kind of, it's getting caught in the crosswires, so to speak. So again, that's going to be another layer to eclipse season over the next year. And on top of it, I know, sorry you guys if I'm losing you. I want to paint a picture of how complex astrology can be when you're looking at it from, when you're breaking it down with Jupiter, what signs he rules, Leo, what energies are coming out of Leo, and also what signs Leo rules as well, or planetary aspects, I should say, which is the sun. So eclipse season, the nodes of the moon are moving into Leo and Aquarius. So it's even going to amp up this energy even more, you guys, because Jupiter at some point is going to make contact with that north node and opposing the south node. So again, I hope I didn't lose you there. And if I did, just bear with me. I am moving on now. I'm officially moving on. So you can see how complicated this transit is going to be, or complex. I'm personally jazzed up about it, you guys. Also, down below, I have a kite and cradle activation. This is the official activation of this cradle energy with Jupiter moving into Leo. And I talked about it last year, if you've been following me for a while. So in 2026, it's, again, I know I've been saying this year after year after year, so I know some of you are bored of it. All the outer planets are in fire and air energies. So Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, as I mentioned, Uranus in Gemini, Saturn in Aries, and now Jupiter in fiery Leo. So if life hasn't sped up for you yet, which I would probably find that hard to believe, it's really going to speed up now with Jupiter hopping into Leo and again activating that cradle in 4 respective areas of life. So again, if you're interested in that, feel free to check out my video in the description box below. I think it's under other astro transits, or you can just navigate to my YouTube channel and you'll find it there as well. One blessing though is during the retrograde periods of like Jupiter retrograde, Saturn retrograde, and all the other heavy hitters, we will be able to incorporate these changes. That's going to be, I think, a breath of fresh air for us. Also, my recommendation is ground. I think a lot of us will have to find ways to ground ourselves. Very simple way is to go outside and, stick your feet in the sand or on the soil, the grass, the earth, rocks, whatever you can to really ground this energy. Because yeah, with Jupiter finally moving out of Cancer, that was our lightning post. I think I talked about it last year in my Jupiter and Cancer video. He was our only sort of gravitational pull back to Earth. Now he's moving into Leo. So it's going to be, yeah, it's kind of like all bets are off here and anything can happen with these transits. So anyway, I will move on here to the next slide. We're going to talk about Jupiter cycles. What I love about Jupiter cycles is that you don't need your birth chart to sort of track this. I have some ages listed on the slide here, which I'll get into in just a second here. But Jupiter cycles always involve taking some sort of leap of faith, whether that's into the unknown or taking a leap of faith on a person, place, a thing, or situation. Or again, it could be like Jupiter is, again, the international planet. So he could really, really, really push us outside of our comfort zone and connect with people that we would normally not connect with, to take that leap of faith, to travel into the unknown, for example, because Jupiter loves adventure and exploration as well. So Jupiter cycles you can track every 3 years or so, but the ones I like is the Jupiter returns, which are every 12 years, and the Jupiter oppositions every 6 years. Those are kind of the milestones I've noticed personally that you can track automatically without even knowing your personal birth chart here. Also, if you are a Sagittarius or a Piscean, or if your midheaven or one of your big angles, I should say, is ruled by Sagittarius or Pisces, or if you have Jupiter in one of the big angular houses, so the 1st house, the 4th house, the 7th house, or the 10th house, I also find Jupiter plays a big prominent role in your life as well. Because again, this may or may not resonate with each and every one of you, because it depends on where your personal Jupiter is in your birth chart and how he's talking to everybody else in the chart as well. So let's see here. Let's start with the Jupiter return. So this is the initiation point, and this again happens every 12 years approximately. So this is when the adventure begins, whether you realize it or not. So this is when you get your driver's license, for example, and you buy your favorite, sports car or whatever the case may be, and then you just take off running. That's sort of the way I always picture it with Jupiter returns. Now, at the second stage is the first opening square. So that's 3 years later, approximately. And this is where we start to sort of fine tune the energies that were incorporated 3 years previously, if that makes sense. Now, the next stage is the Jupiter opposition, which I have those ages on the slide there at the bottom left corner. So oppositions are definitely, they can be a manifestation point. But again, it's a readjustment. It's always a rebalancing when planets oppose each other in the sky, depending on who they are, of course. So this is usually another change, I find. But again, it depends on what Jupiter rules in your personal birth chart and if you're sensitive to Jupiter, for example. And then another adjustment comes 3 years later. This is the closing square, so another square. Usually, again, some sort of change or adjustment needs to take place 3 years later. And then the cycle starts all over again 3 years later when Jupiter comes back around to exactly where he is in your birth chart. So that's it in a nutshell, but certainly look back to these ages. I can appreciate, obviously, at age 12 or 16, maybe sometimes we don't have control of what we're doing in our lives. But again, that's where, were you in foster care? Were you raised by a grandmother or a grandfather or a grandparent or a friend or a family member? It would be their teachings sort of embedded into us, and their circumstances would have maybe moved us around or changed our circumstances or whatever the case may be. So certainly think back, reflect on those times, and see if you can notice sort of a pattern that comes up every 6 years or so. Okay, now the date specifically, depending on where you are on the planet, this is happening on or around June the 30th. And yes, Jupiter will be here for an entire year. So definitely I'm encouraging everyone to lean into this energy because it's going to be extremely expansive. But once I get into all 12 signs, I'll also lean into the cautions as well. Because as much as, like, I personally love working with Jupiter, but what I have found, though, personally, is Jupiter can really make it uncomfortable, and he can give us so much expansion that it can bring in just too much. Because Jupiter doesn't have any boundaries. That's Saturn's job. Saturn's the one with the rings. Saturn's the one that brings in the tightening of the belt. Planets like Jupiter and Neptune, they have no boundaries. They have zero limits. And Jupiter wants you to go to the extreme. Not like Mars extreme, but like Jupiter wants to take you to the edges of the Earth or the edges of the galaxy. He wants you to absorb. He's the planet of knowledge. It's that 9th house, higher knowledge, higher teaching. It's the mentor, the teacher, the coach. That's what Jupiter is coming in for. Saturn is too. He's like the grandfather of the zodiac, and they both have different teaching styles. But Jupiter is just like, yeah, he doesn't know when to stop, basically, except, as I mentioned, when they go retrograde, especially Jupiter. That's when we'll be able to come back down to Earth and come back into our own existence and our own body for some of us, and incorporate those lessons that he's bringing in. So I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, but that's what these planets and these energies bring, especially when Jupiter is moving into, as I mentioned, a really spicy, fiery sign such as Leo. Because Leo in itself, Leo energy is big on its own, very magnetic and very expansive and very optimistic. We have two energies coming together that are ruled by optimism. So I'm just trying to get you to kind of lean into this energy of what exactly could manifest over the next several years. So also think back to when Jupiter last transited Leo. So most recently, it would have been July 2014 to August of 2015. Now, it doesn't mean the exact same thing is going to happen, but it'll kind of have a flavor for sure. But again, Jupiter, the last time Jupiter was in Leo, Pluto was not in Aquarius, Neptune was not in Aries, and Saturn was not in Aries, and Uranus was not in Gemini. So, and they were not making a cradle configuration in the sky. So that's why I'm very confident this particular Jupiter in Leo cycle, and all the other transits for that matter, are going to be completely off the wall, different. Like things are going to hit us that we never even saw coming. Again, I'm an optimist, so I'm taking this energy higher. I'm not dooming and glooming it. I think this is going to be good for all of us because if anything, if anything, my hope is it's going to expand our joy, all of our abundance. Optimism, I'm hoping, will increase, right? When that happens, dreams get bigger. Jupiter rules dreams. So I am hoping people will start to dream big, think big, look at the bigger picture and not get so bogged down in what is happening today, this minute, this hour, because guess what? Tomorrow's a new day. And we can take advantage of that and we can change that. Yeah, we can't change what's happening on the planet. And I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because I don't see the benefit of that. So yeah, see, this is my optimism bleeding out here to all of you because I'm hoping to get all of you fired up with this energy, all of this energy, all new territory. This is a once in a lifetime transit. Yeah, Jupiter comes around to Leo every 12 years, but the next time he comes around to Leo, it's going to be different. It's going to look different in the sky. Well, actually, Pluto will still be in Aquarius. But Uranus is going to be long moved on. Saturn's going to be long moved on. And Neptune will be at the very end of Aries. So again, it's going to have a different flavor and feel to it. So anyway, my point of that is Jupiter expands anything it touches. So keep in mind, he expands the good, he expands the blessings, he expands the abundance, but he's also going to push us outside of our comfort zones, especially those of us going through a square. So all of the fixed signs, I'm going to dive into in a second here. So that is Leo, that is Scorpio, that's Taurus, and that's also Aquarius. So all of you, this energy is going to be a little bit different than some of the other signs. And I don't mean that in a negative way because Jupiter, I find Jupiter squares, even myself, bring in huge manifestation beyond our wildest dreams because we're the ones that take that leap of faith. But anyway, I will get off my soapbox. Yes, I have a stellium in Sagittarius, if you haven't noticed. But I think I mentioned this earlier. Watch for your sun sign, watch for your rising sign. And again, if you are a cuspy baby, certainly watch for the next sign over if you feel called to do so, because I'm confident you'll be able to pull in some nuggets of information from that respective sign as well. All right, so let's dive into all 12 signs. Hey, Aries, let's talk about the area of life that Jupiter is going to be expanding your horizons, so to speak, over the next year. So first, let's break down the 5th house. And also, Aries, keep in mind, the last time Jupiter transited this area of your life was back in July of 2014 to August of 2015. And you can certainly go back 12 years if you want to kind of get a flavor and a feeling of what previous Jupiter transits brought you in this area of life. But keep in mind, not the exact same thing is going to happen. If you watch the sort of intro to my video here, you know, the last time Jupiter went through Leo, we did not have this cradle configuration in the sky of Saturn and Neptune in your sign. We did not have Pluto in Aquarius, and we did not have Uranus transiting Gemini. So I am very confident this transit's going to be different for each and every one of us. So definitely keep that in mind. So the 5th house in general represents children, grandchildren. So Aries, heads up, this is a fertility transit. If you're looking to start a family, you have a whole year. You have a whole year, Aries, of this incredible energy coming in of expanding the family or the home front, so to speak. Now, again, I can appreciate not all of you are looking to have kiddos, but keep in mind this expands beyond you. Jupiter always expands beyond us physically. So it could be somebody else in the household getting pregnant, like I mentioned, grandchildren coming in, or a loved one or a family member or a relative could be also having babies or what am I trying to say here? Expanding their family home base, for example, because I noticed Jupiter also rules your 9th house as well. So there could be some sort of international connection here as well with Jupiter moving through that 5th house. Now, 5th house is also the house of love and romance and dating as well. So for those of you that are single and you are looking, Jupiter here looks really good. I actually personally, I love it when Jupiter moves through the 5th house, and also Saturn for that matter, because they bring in committed partnerships. I'm not saying Mars and Venus don't do that, but when I'm doing a relationship reading with people, I really look to Saturn and Jupiter because I find those are the monumental transits for relationships in general. So again, I don't think you'll be single after this transit, Aries, but again, I do encourage you. This is the energy to put yourself out there, though. This is not the type of energy to, just sit in your house, sit in your apartment and expect that somebody just shows up on your doorstep. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just that the universe has a harder time to, line up the pieces for you, so to speak, to interact with that individual if you don't kind of take a few steps towards them, and then trust me, the universe will meet you halfway, if not more. So just something to keep in mind. Now, if that does not resonate with you, creativity, self-expression, and hobbies is also in the 5th house. Think about anything that lifts you up and lights you up, Aries. This is the area of life think back to when you were a kid and you were asked in school over and over and over again, or by your parents or grandparents, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be when you grow up? This is that area of life that is getting re-energized with this Jupiterian effort. And I would say, Aries, again, go big or go home. This energy is really, if we put ourselves out there, if we take that calculated risk, trust me, the gods, the universe, the planets are going to align for us. They really want us to expand and lean into this energy, especially Jupiter. He will bring in those rewards if we take that leap of faith and take that risk as well, especially with Saturn in your sign, the great builder. Aries, you are setting the stage of your life, of your circumstances for the next 30 years or so, regardless of age. So with the great builder working with the planet of taking a leap of faith and trusting in the unknown and following your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, man, Aries, you can move mountains with this type of energy. And I'm really excited for all the fire signs just to see what exactly they can take and do with this energy. So I am, I'm very excited for everybody in general. This transit is just going to be incredible because of that cradle energy. This just adds to that momentum. One thing I'm just going to throw out caution here, Aries, is because it is the house of pleasure, pleasure, joy, and entertainment. Aries, you could go too far. As I mentioned in the first part of the video, you could spend a lot of money. If you do meet somebody, you might want to lavish them with a lot of luxuries, whatever that means to you. Again, with Jupiter, I'm thinking of trips, cruises, trips, international trips, very luxurious experiences where you can get away from it all, because Jupiter also rules your 12th house, your hidden 12th house. So that would be my only caution, but really Jupiter moving through the 5th house and the 11th house is amazing. So, for you, I know it's the 5th house, but I'm just saying the 11th house and 5th house axes is one of my favorites personally. So yes, this can be a very lucky transit for you as well, Aries, but again, just be mindful of taking it too far. Because yes, optimism, I'm an optimist, and I love that. I love that quality in anyone really, but it's about, where do you stop though? Where do you need to, as I mentioned, ground? You might need to ground and pull yourself down to reality. Now with Saturn in your sign though, I think that might not be a problem, because Saturn will gut check you. from his perspective, quite literally moving through your first house, or I guess it depends on what you're watching for right now, Aries. But that would be my only caution is just take it easy. Don't bet the farm on lottery tickets or anything like that. Because I would have to see, lottery wins, I do get that question a lot, but I would have to see it 3 times in the birth chart. So yes, I'm seeing it once, but I would have to see the rest of your birth chart to really confirm what exactly are you looking for when it comes to luck. Because yes, lottery wins, I hate to say it, they're not all born and bred in our birth charts, Aries. So, but it doesn't mean it can't happen, okay? Does not mean it can't happen. Now, Jupiter is going to be trining whatever you're watching for right now. So if it's your sun sign, this is an expansion on the career front. So again, incredible blessings, incredible abundance, incredible expansion. For those of you looking to do a side hustle or get a side hustle up and running, again, that's the 5th house energy, making a trine to your sun sign or your rising sign even. That could be getting your business off the ground and getting traction with clients, because Jupiter making an opportunity aspect, if you're an Aries rising, this is hitting your yes, it's hitting your love line, but it's also the 7th house is clients, like the people that we attract to us as well, Aries. So this is a really nice transit for those of you that are looking to get a hobby or sell, do something at the side of your desk, so to speak, sell something on the side. Really nice energy to get up and running. And I would say even market it to an international base, because again, Jupiter rules your 9th house. And that's reaching a higher, wider audience. Even if you're teaching, even if you're doing something like this on YouTube, you're teaching something, you're educating people about something, that looks really good as well, Aries. So again, put your services out there. Jupiter rules your hidden 12th house as well, of spirituality and awakening. So if you're into that sort of metaphysical type of businesses as well, that looks really good as well. Just to give you some examples here. Now, if it's your rising sign, again, you look really good to individuals. Like people want to jump into bed with you, Aries, literally, figuratively, you know what I mean. But you look good as a business partner. You look good as a boss. You look good as an authority figure. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. And again, you have this for an entire year. Also, Aries, this might make you really generous, which I like as well. Like you might want to give, whether it's time, money, energy, effort, whatever the case may be. You might be very giving because, again, Jupiter is like Santa Claus. That's what I call him sometimes. He's the great giver. He's blessings. So that's going to empower you, Aries, to give out those blessings and joy. Like you could actually bring a lot of joy to other people's lives as well with this transit. Now, if it's your moon sign, you could be up for an expansion of the home. So it could be, again, pregnancy, having babies, bringing fur babies into the home, expanding on the home front. So if you do move or you do relocate, I almost guarantee, I don't know if you're going to downsize. If you do downsize, maybe you're going to move to another country or you're going to move abroad. But again, that's not for all of you though. I would have to see, because this isn't, you just came out of Jupiter out of the 4th house. So maybe you already moved, maybe you already expanded on the home front. So again, this really depends, Aries, but Jupiter making a connection to your moon, definitely some sort of expansion on the home front, or changing up the style of the home, or again, renovating the home or gutting the home or doing some changes on the home front again. And as I mentioned, really good energy coming into that 7th house if you're an Aries rising. So business partnerships going well. If you have to sign on the dotted line, Jupiter is going to help you out with that as well. And marriages too. Again, Jupiter moving through the 7th house is more about marriage, but Jupiter in the 5th is bringing in a committed partnership or a committed relationship. And again, this could be with a loved one from a business perspective, romantic perspective, or maybe you're going into business with a friend or somebody at a distance, or maybe you are, again, expanding in this area of life, because again, it's that international connection, Aries. But regardless, this is an incredible placement for you, Aries. I'm super, super happy for you. And enjoy this transit, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey there, Taurus. So welcome to Jupiter transiting the foundation of your sky over the next year and what that could mean for each and every one of you. Of course, this is going to depend if this is your true fourth house, Taurus, but I guess if you're here, you must have something in the sign of Taurus. So that means Jupiter at some point will be squaring your planet placement angle or whatever you're watching for right now. Now, with the square energy, Taurus, I just want to explain that a little bit more because people seem to get scared about these squares. I personally love squares. My chart is littered with them. Squares make you move. Squares make you take action on something, Taurus. And you're not the only one here. Because as I mentioned in the earlier part of my video, all the fixed signs are going through this. So you, Scorpio, Aquarius, and even Leo is going through this intense, almost like a pressure cooker from Jupiter. Yes, he is a benefic. He is a good guy. He is, he brings in the blessings, the abundance, all that fun stuff. But when it comes to a square, Jupiter makes us expand so much. We get so uncomfortable that we have to change our circumstances, Taurus. So again, I don't think this is a bad thing. How I've seen Jupiter squares manifest can actually be huge blessings, like huge. Like things happen that you wouldn't even anticipate, you wouldn't imagine, because Jupiter gives us the strength, the power, the momentum to change our lives, which is tough. Like the fixed signs, I'm a fixed sign too. So it's tough for us to get going and move because we want to stay where we are. We want to stay in that comfort zone. So yes, Jupiter is pushing you to succeed, pushing you outside of your comfort zone when it comes to fourth house matters. And also this could mean dynamic energy coming into this fourth house, into the bottom of your sky. And the fourth house is not public. Taurus, unless you work with homes or you work in the real estate industry, or you build homes maybe, or you decorate homes or anything like that, Taurus, it might bleed into your career a little bit differently, but still something's got to change when it comes to anything to do with home, family, foundation, and security. So again, this might not be about you. It might be external circumstances coming in that you have to pivot and change something. Because Jupiter, I find, sometimes it's not about us. It's about the people we live with. It's about our family. It's about like our little bubble, our atmosphere, so to speak, and those people that are in it, because at the end of the day, they impact us too as well, Taurus. So this is about you responding or reacting to events that are going to happen in this area of life over the next year. Now think back to July 2014 to August of 2015. That's the last time we had Jupiter through Leo. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty confident to say it's going to be definitely different this time around. Why? Because we have Uranus in Gemini, we have Pluto in Aquarius, and we have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So this cradle activation is something we've never, ever, ever experienced in this lifetime, Taurus. So that's why I'm pretty confident to say things are going to be different this time around. So this could be also changes with your parents, Taurus. So again, it might not be about you. It might be about your parents or your grandparents going through some sort of change. Property dealings, property situations. Maybe some of you, this is going to push you into retirement or thoughts of retirement, depending on your age. If you're a young individual, maybe this transit will be a wake-up call to save for a rainy day, or you start looking at real estate listings and you're like, oh my God, I really need to put away quite a chunk of change for that down payment on my home. Or maybe you want to build a home. This isn't a fertility transit, like that would be Jupiter in the 5th house, but this doesn't mean pregnancy or again, babies or new people coming into the home, because again, Jupiter expands anything he touches, Taurus. So if you do move, I'm going to throw it out there. I think you're going to go bigger. As I mentioned, Jupiter is go bigger, go home, and Leo brings that energy too. So we have like double, triple whammy really, really expanding in this area of life, Taurus. So, and I mean, it doesn't mean some of you can't downsize. That's, that's definitely a possibility, but Jupiter always blows, like, not blows things up, but he blows things out of proportion. Like he wants us to go buy that mansion. He wants us to go buy that sports car, even though we don't need it. So it's that sort of energy. Plus Leo, right? Leo's the glitz and the glams and the Hollywood and the red lipstick and the big hair and stuff like that. So if you are redecorating, Taurus, really nice energy to do that. Really nice energy to beautify the home, especially yourself being ruled by Venus. I would say you're probably really good at that compared to some of the other signs. But just know that Jupiter can almost take it too far in this area of life, and he can really make you blow a lot of money when it comes to home and family and foundation and our loved ones, for example. So that's just these are just examples, by the way, folks. This really comes down to what exactly Jupiter is doing in your birth chart, and what you're watching for, and any other planet placements points that you have, not only in Leo, but in the other signs as well. So Jupiter square your sun, if you're watching for your sun sign. So the sun is about career, purpose, your health and well-being and vitality, your self-expression. It could also mean father figures as well. So again, changes to male authority figures in your life, grandfathers, fathers, or authority figures in general. I'm thinking bosses, even if you're a boss, Taurus. Something here has to shift and change. And Jupiter is asking you to even possibly take that leap of faith to change something in your career or purpose. Because again, there's a bigger connection here to the second house, the 12th house, and your 10th house as well, especially when Jupiter opposes Pluto and Aquarius for you, Taurus. To me, that's big, big, big manifestation on the career front. And some of you are going to completely change your status, meaning you're going to change what you're known to normally do, if that makes sense. So this is like, maybe you're a banker and you turn into a baker. Maybe you're a lawyer and you go, I don't know, you start teaching elementary. Like, it's just, or you become a rocket scientist or something like that. Like, it's such a drastic shift from a work and career perspective for you, Taurus. So if you're feeling it now, sort of the pressure or the pain point to change something in your career, Jupiter's going to help you with that as well, because you already have Uranus working with you. You have Saturn and Neptune working behind the scenes, and then you got Pluto at the top of your sky for a really long time as well. Now, if it's your moon sign, identical to what I just said about the 4th house. So home, family, foundation, security, what family means to you, Taurus. Something here has to change. Something here has to give. It could be changes on a female figure, something in their life, mother, grandmother, female friends, also your hormones, Taurus. If you are a female, Jupiter can kind of make things go a little bit wonky from a hormonal perspective when he's in a square. But again, he's doing it for a reason, to get your attention with something. So again, this could be changes in a female figure's life, in your life, if that makes sense, or something to do with the physical body. There needs to be adjustments here. Same with the sun. I forgot to mention that. Health, well-being, vitality. Jupiter could bring something to your attention, Taurus, that you need to tune into the body and get connected to maybe a different healthcare practitioner. Now, if it's your rising sign, Taurus, this is, again, your identity, right? So the rising is how you present yourself to the world, how you perceive the world. It's the glasses, the lenses that we wear, and it's also how people perceive us. So again, Jupiter here might change your status from that perspective, or help you change your status. Status could mean lots of different things. Career, marriage, maybe you're known for, I don't know, being a mother of 8 kids, or whatever the case may be. But something about your status is going to change, because Jupiter is in a big angular house. So at the end of the day, this is going to probably change your identity in some way. Your relationships could go through a shift and change, especially rising, Taurus rising people, because Jupiter's going to square your love line. Jupiter's going to square your line of marriage, contracts, agreements, negotiations, even your clients. If you are a Taurus business owner, you know, 7th house is the clients we attract to us. And then Jupiter opposing that 10th house. So you see what I mean? This could activate bigger themes, but they might start on the home front. Also something to do with the past. Dealing with the past could come back around. But there's always a reason, Taurus. So I'm not trying to Debbie down this transit, because at the end of the day, Jupiter is a blessing. He is a benefic, okay? He's not a malefic. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. So, but he can overwhelm us. But when that happens, you know that something has to change. That's what he's helping you to do. He's that big, giant Santa Claus angel that's trying to just nudge us in that new direction. I'm not going to say the right direction, but a new direction, Taurus. And again, think back to those time frames. You know, what happened 12 years ago, you know, but again, the exact same thing's not going to happen. So I don't want you to focus on that if something not so good happened 12 years ago, because it's definitely going to be different this time around. All right, Taurus, enjoy this transit, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Gemini, let's talk about this transit for you with Jupiter moving through your 3rd house. Now, Gemini, I love this for you because, well, first of all, you're an air sign. Second of all, your 1st house, your 3rd house, your 11th house, your 9th house. There's a big, big, big connection going on there. As I mentioned, the cradle energy. So if you want to learn more about that, check out the link in the description box below. Under other astro transits, you can learn more about this cradle type of energy. So Jupiter is just a piece of the puzzle here that's going to be expanding in these social houses and also relational houses as well for you. So Gemini, think back to July of 2014 to August of 2015. That's the last time you would have had Jupiter through the 3rd house. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm confident not the exact same things are going to happen, because Uranus was not in your sign, because Saturn and Neptune were not in your 11th house, and Pluto was certainly not up in your 9th house as well. So this is going to be beyond just your regular traditional 3rd house transit. But again, it's still monumental. I'm getting ahead of myself here because let's focus back on the 3rd house. So what is the 3rd house, Gemini? This is the mind. Again, Jupiter is going to be expanding your mind in one way, shape, or form. From an educational perspective, so maybe some of you will be going back to school. Now, this could be higher education or a tangible skill set that you learn something new. Like I'm thinking working with your hands or arms or something like that, like more of a manual job. Or it could be, again, an expansion of the mind. So it could be either or. Communications, technology, transportation lies in the 3rd house as well. Siblings, cousins, neighbors, neighborhood, your immediate community. There's going to be some sort of expansive experience happening, kind of connected to the home front, like your current living situation. Now, I'm going to throw it out there because this does rule the house of community. Depending on where your 4th house cusp floats, so from a Placidus perspective, sometimes the 4th house cusp floats in the 3rd house from a whole sign perspective. I apologize if I'm losing you. But the 3rd house is community, meaning this might trigger a move, but it doesn't have to. Okay, I know some of you are probably going to comment below, no, that's wrong, it's not in the 4th house. I've seen it happen, you guys. I've seen it happen. My 4th house cusp is in the 5th house. So from a Placidus perspective. So that's what I mean. Jupiter moving through the 3rd, 4th, 5th could indicate a move, but only for those of you that want to move. But again, think your local vicinity, local environment. Now, I think you could be getting new neighbors too. I noticed Jupiter in the 3rd house can also bring in new people, like new neighbors. Because Jupiter has that international connection, they could be of a different cultural background. They could be from another country. They could be, I don't know, a different religion, different background, whatever you want to call it. But again, think expanding your horizons here. So yeah, there's definitely going to be changes in your local community or local environment, Gemini. Now, if that doesn't resonate, changes with your siblings, relatives, so changes in their lives in some way, shape, or form. So it might not be about you. It could be about, like, Jupiter also expands our little bubble, our little atmosphere, our little group of people and family that surround us. So again, this could be changes in family members' lives, I should say, as well. This is the house of social media. So again, for those of you that have a website or a YouTube channel or some sort of social media presence, Jupiter here could really help you take off, get those followers going, expand on, like, I would say if you don't have a website up, Gemini, and you own a business, run a business, or whatever the case may be, put yourself out there on some sort of platform, like start with one. Jupiter is going to make you probably want to, I don't know, start with 12 different platforms if there's such thing as that. Because again, Jupiter is going to expand and bring in a lot in this area of life. So just be mindful of that. As I explained, Jupiter expands anything and everything it touches, and he doesn't have any boundaries. So just keep that in mind. He is trying to bring in the blessings and the expansion, but sometimes it can be too much for us, especially in the third house. It can bring in almost like a little bit too much jittery energy into this area of life. So that's just something to be mindful of. But yeah, this can be a huge blow up on the social media front for sure. Also traveling. I mean, I'm going to expand it to either or, because Jupiter is the planet of international connection. But in the third house, it's more so about general busyness around your local environment. So taking the kids here, driving here, moving your business from one building to another building, or whatever the case may be. Also, if you do own a business, if you're an entrepreneur, this is really nice energy to get your client base going, like expanding on the client front. Because Jupiter also rules your 7th house and 10th house, Gemini. So I love that from a career perspective or a business perspective. That's really nice energy coming in. Let's see here. Also, Gemini, Jupiter rules your 7th house of partnership. So for those of you that are single, I'm going to just throw it out there. Like, it's possible you could meet someone in your local vicinity, especially if you're a Gemini rising, I would say. Sun sign, I'll get into that in a second. That's more business, career, purpose, vitality. But Jupiter touching the love line, really good for clients, really good for business partnerships, marital partnerships coming in. Anytime I see Jupiter or Saturn touching the love line, which Saturn's going to be as well, you know, that could be a pretty serious marital partnership coming in for you, Gemini. But again, that's only for those of you that are looking. If you're in a committed partnership, again, just, I would say, travel with them, learn something new, build something. Like in the third house, it's like, this is actually your house. You're very familiar with the third house, Gemini, because you have a connection to the third house. So this is like using your fingers, your hands, your arms, you know, your body. It's more manual. So I don't know, do something cool, fun, and adventurous with your partner from could be a learning perspective, learn something new, but it can also be physical, like get physical, Gemini, if that makes sense. Okay. What else? Something, just a personal story here. I know some of you like my personal stories and some of you don't, but I remember I bought a vehicle when Jupiter was in my third house. I didn't do it on purpose. This is when I didn't study astrology. But just a sidebar, if you have to upgrade your vehicle, whether to new, used, whatever, buy, sell, get rid of a vehicle, the vehicle that I bought lasted me like 13, 14 years. I did buy it new. It was my first new vehicle that I ever bought in my life. And it was the best vehicle I ever owned. And I even bought a brand that I normally don't go with. and it was kind of like luck of the draw, and I got a good deal on it, and I traded in an old clunker, and they gave me exactly what, like everything just lined up. And looking back, once I started studying astrology, yeah, Jupiter was transiting my third house. So I'm just going to put it out there. If you have to upgrade your vehicle, keep in mind you got a year, okay, Gemini? So don't panic. Don't think you got to go out and spend money right now. But I'm just saying, I had a really good experience with Jupiter moving through my third house when it was making beautiful aspects to my, specifically my rising sign and my moon. Man, I had really good luck. So I'm just going to throw it out there as a personal story, take it or leave it. But this is also good for selling, I would say, too. Because again, I was trying to sell my vehicle and I couldn't. And the dealer I was dealing with, they just took it and they gave me exactly what I wanted for it. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, holy cow. But anyway, that's just a personal story. Okay. Your sun sign. If you're watching for your sun sign, this is incredible career opportunities. I think I kind of alluded to that. Your purpose, your career, you appear more jovial, Gemini. You're like, this is Santa Claus coming in, right? This is Santa Claus coming into your third house, giving you gifts and blessings. Also, that goes for technology too. If you have to upgrade your phone, your tablet, your computer, I'm going to expand that. This isn't just about vehicles, by the way. This is technology. So Jupiter here is a blessing. So I forgot to mention that as well. It's not just about vehicles, it's technology. So if you have to upgrade anything over the next year, Jupiter will help you out with that as well. Anyway, going back to your sun sign. This is really nice energy coming into your career, your health, your vitality, and also this is kind of bleed into your personality, Gemini, is what I'm trying to get at, spit out here. So you will also appear more optimistic, jovial, childlike, and just fun, to be around. The third house is a social house. So also, I think you're going to be a social butterfly too, Gemini. You're going to want to go out and about more, be a lot more active, which I encourage you to do because that's where the miracles happen, right? When you're out and about and doing your thing. Leaning into your gifts, your talents, your abilities, your skill set, upgrading your skill set in the third house. Get curious, Gemini. It's weird saying that to you because you are the sign of curiosity. So yeah, you just never know what kind of opportunities Jupiter is going to bring into your career, but also this goes for your rising sign as well, because it's going to be a part of your identity. It's how you present yourself to the world. It's how people see you. Now, if it's your moon sign, this is more quieter, I would say, but again, Jupiter making a sextile to your moon, this could be, as I mentioned, an opportunity to move, an opportunity to expand on the home front, an opportunity to bring clients into your home or creating a space to bring clients into your home, renovating the home. This could also be changes with mother, father, authority figures, by the way. I forgot to mention that too, because the sun can represent male figures in our lives and the moon can represent female figures in our lives. More so like parents, I'm thinking, not so much partnership. But your partner, Gemini, is ruled by Jupiter. So I also see a good year for your partner as well. Both of you. It'll be about local, not so much about international, but it doesn't mean international can't happen because at the end of the day, Jupiter is the planet of international connections, whether in love or in business, Gemini. So otherwise, really nice transit for you, Gemini. I'm super, super, super excited for you, especially with Uranus in your sign. If you haven't watched that video already, check out the links in the description box below. But yeah, Gemini, enjoy this transit and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Cancer, welcome to your Jupiter transit through Leo. Now, Jupiter coming out of your sign, Cancer, how was that for you? I'd love to actually hear your comments, your thoughts, if you're a Cancer sun, moon, or rising. If you're open to sharing with all of us, or if you want to just drop me a line, drop me an email, navigate to my website, and just pop me a message there. I'd be just curious how Jupiter through that first house or making contact with your sun, moon, or rising, how that was for you, Cancer. So anyway, Jupiter is now moving into your second house, which honestly is a good blessing when it comes to money, resources, finances, and material possessions, Cancer. So this is definitely not a bad transit at all. And think back in time, July 2014 to August of 2015 is the last time Jupiter moved through Leo. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I think this transit is going to be so different because of these big cradle activations in the sky. So we have Uranus in your 12th house of Gemini. We have Saturn and Neptune at the top of your sky in Aries. And then we have Pluto in your 8th house of Aquarius. Of Aquarius. So Cancer, I'm confident this transit is not going to be like your typical Jupiter transit, because of these big connections. This is a once in a lifetime activation transits with all these big heavy hitters being in certain areas of the sky. It's just absolutely incredible. So if you're saying to yourself, well, something not so good happened to me back then, it's going to have a different flavor. It's going to have a different feel this time around. And again, I would even question if that was even Jupiter. You know, it takes more it takes more than one person to tango, that's for sure. When people make comments about, you know, Uranus ruining their life or Pluto ruining their life, it's usually more than that. So I'm just going to put it out there. But anyway, Cancer, I'm really hopeful that this transit's going to line your pockets. So again, money looks really good. Investments look really good. Work looks really good too. Like Jupiter in the second house in general should bring in those incredible work opportunities to you. Now, again, if you're not working, I would say, because Jupiter rules your 6th house of work, of duty, of service, and Jupiter also rules your 9th house, Cancer. So if you're not working, how are you showing up? Who are you showing up for? Even if it's for a pet. Okay, even if it's for taking care of pets, your furry friends, grandbabies, your family. Are you babysitting every other day? Are you golfing? Are you contributing to, I don't know, something, a cause in your local community? Are you volunteering your money, your time, your efforts? Are you helping out a neighbor? You know, there could be so many things, Cancer, you can get involved with. So I do encourage you, if you're able-bodied and if you're retired, to expand your horizons when it comes to how can you show up and be of service, because those blessings are going to come back to you tenfold. Trust me, they will find you. You know, this is Santa Claus we're talking about. Santa Claus is coming into your second house, dropping off gifts, blessings, abundance that could expand not only your horizons from an adventure standpoint, whether you're working or not working, but just from an overall being a good human perspective, Cancer. And anyway, I don't want to sound preachy or anything like that. I always seem to get preachy with Cancerians, and I don't know why. But this could really expand your horizons from a work perspective. Like again, whether you're volunteering for global efforts, humanitarian efforts, local efforts, or even if you do have a job, you might get a job where you're traveling more. Or you might just start traveling more with Jupiter in that second house as well. Also, your connection with children or grandchildren might expand in some way, shape, or form as well, Cancer. Now, again, that could be with your own kids, if you have kids, or grandbabies, like I said, or fur babies, or, you know, whatever from that perspective. I would encourage you to work with a financial advisor if you want to dabble in with investments and global investments and stuff like that. I'm not an expert on that. But if you want to look at expanding your wallet, I would say explore that this year. Again, you have a whole year of this energy. So this isn't like one and done energy. This is an entire year that could, again, you could really financially benefit with Jupiter in that second house. Now, on the flip side, though, Jupiter can make us spend a lot of money. And actually anything moving through that second house, like we naturally want to indulge and spend that kind of money. So again, Cancer, you do you. I'm not here to preach at you and tell you what to do. This is more of a heads up type of energy where if you feel, you know, you're going to be very generous. So you're really going to be, you know, whether it's your time, your money, your resources, property, like anything you want to give and give and give and give, Cancer. So again, some of you, I think that will light you up and lift you up, because again, that ties into your purpose, or how you are showing up and being of service for other people. But again, depending on your resource base, just something to kind of keep in mind there as well. Learning something new looks really good, because the second house can also be tap into our skill set, upgrading our skill set. And I see Jupiter also rules your 9th house of learning and education as well. Mentoring, teaching, coaching. Maybe you'll step up and do that in your work. For those of you that are doing a 9-to-5 job, you could be mentoring other individuals or younger individuals or other individuals. You could be training more as well, or become a trainer or train the trainer. And again, that takes you maybe all over the country or international, for example. I'm just giving you examples, Cancer. I'm not saying all of this is going to happen, because this really comes down to your personal birth chart. And if you have any planets, placements, points in Leo, the fire signs, or the air signs, because this aspect, as you can see, isn't making any direct hits to your Cancerian placements, because you already had that last year with Jupiter moving through that first house. Material possession, so again, buying, selling. So if you are releasing property, for example, I'm going to say Jupiter here, it looks really abundant, but keep in mind, anything you buy, Jupiter wants to take it to the extreme. So it's very extravagant. It's very luxurious, especially Leo being your second house. Like I can tell, Cancer, you like nice things. You enjoy nice things. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But with Jupiter there, again, he's going to make you really want to indulge and go to the extreme. So that's just kind of the heads up with Jupiter. Yes, he's a blessing. Yes, he's the greater benefic. Yes, he's a good guy. But yeah, sometimes Jupiter, well, not sometimes, Jupiter has no boundaries. All he wants us to do is to learn and indulge in knowledge and see the world. But he doesn't realize we live, like these sky gods don't realize we live in a material world. So some of us, we don't have the capacity to, travel the world and see the sights of the world. Now, some of us do. Now, if you do, Jupiter's going to make you crave that a little bit more, I'm going to say, over the next year or so, Cancer. But all in all, this is a really nice transit. Again, to look at the rest of your birth chart, Cancer, I could add in additional layers here, but just in general, looking at the second house, this looks really good. Buying, selling, looks very good. Also, I'm also going to say any sort of treatments as well, because Jupiter is your health planet, or one of your health planets. So any sort of treatments that you want to get done with the face, the heart, or the back, the spine, I'm going to say as well, with Jupiter in the second house. But again, you guys, I'm not a doctor, I'm far from it. But I can just sense from a medical perspective that could also be some benefits. Or maybe getting a second opinion, or seeking out a physician that has an international connection, like going to another country, for example. So for those of you undergoing maybe some procedures, definitely do your research, and you might be surprised of maybe a practitioner that does something different in another country that might benefit you, or another state or another province that might benefit you a little bit more. So again, it's about expanding those, taking off the blinders and kind of looking at different health perspectives as well, or health opinions, I should say, Cancer. Otherwise, a really incredible transit. Enjoy, Cancer, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Leo, welcome to Jupiter transiting your sign over the next year. So Leo, think back to July of 2014 to August of 2015. So what happened back then that you can remember? And of course, you can keep going back every 12 years if you kind of want to look at the patterns here. But Leo, this is so monumental for you in particular, because of the other configurations that Jupiter will be making over the next year. So at some point, he will be opposing Pluto. Well, pretty much right off the hop, he's going to be opposing Pluto. And he'll be making aspects to Saturn and Neptune in your ninth house and Uranus in your 11th house, Leo. So this is beyond the first house of what we're going to talk about. That's kind of what I want to get at here. Plus, it's at a big angular house. So if you've been following me for a while, I always talk about anything that happens in the first house really does ripple out to all areas of life. So the fourth house is going to be impacted here. The 10th house of career is going to be impacted. Your relationships are going to be impacted. Your home life balance, work-life balance, I should say. Jupiter can kind of get us uncomfortable, but he's doing that for a reason. He's not doing that. He's not a malefic. He's a benefic. So he is a good guy. He's a good planet. But Jupiter has no boundaries. And all he wants us to do is expand, 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 and bring in that adventure. He doesn't know when to quit. So that's something I want everyone to keep in mind. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer with this transit. It's just something I personally have noticed ever since I've been practicing astrology. I've been paying close attention to Jupiter because I notice a lot of astrologers really blow him up like like the sky opens up and we all become millionaires. That hasn't quite been my experience with Jupiter. And I have Jupiter in a really strong place in my personal birth chart. But I've also noticed it with clients as well. Jupiter is, yes, he can sometimes push us up against a wall, but he does that because he can see our potential, like all of these planets, and he wants us to do something different. And as soon as we get that pressure from him to change our life, change our existence, he kind of kicks the door open for us and says, okay, are you going to walk through that or not? And then once we do, our entire existence changes for the better. So anyway, let me take a step back here, Leo. Conjunctions. So he's going to be conjuncting. Well, you're going to be the only sign that's going to experience this, Leo. I mean, the Cancerians experienced this last year, but you are going to be the only sign that experiences this as a conjunction. So conjunctions are technically neutral energy. It's all about who is Jupiter coming into contact with. So this is all about fresh new beginnings, Leo. And again, multiple areas of life, especially your identity and what you would consider your status and your identity. New insights. Again, Jupiter expands our horizons. He wants us to take that leap of faith and step into the unknown, and also adventure. He wants to bring in big adventure into each and every one of our lives. Launches are huge with Jupiter in the first house, because usually I'd have to see your birth chart, you guys, but usually this is when they can really take off. But again, I would have to see your birth chart to kind of connect the dots on that. I'm only seeing it once. Usually in astrology, you got to see it 3 times in the birth chart to really kind of connect the dots on what exactly you're launching. But launches in general are good. And this is taking big risk and taking those big leaps of faith, taking action. Like, this is going to make you move, Leo, in more than one way. And I'm a Leo sun, so I'm excited about this personally, of how this is going to be. Because again, this is more than just the first house. This is connecting the 11th house, the 9th house, the 7th house with Pluto, with Saturn, with Uranus, with Neptune. It's just, yeah, Leo, we've never, ever, ever experienced this. And I think Leos are blessed to have Jupiter transit our first house. I mean, it is a blessing to have Jupiter in your first house, or in your sign, I should say, for an entire year, Leo. So definitely, I'm encouraging you to take advantage of those opportunities, but at the end of the day, it's up to you, my friends, of how you want to utilize this energy. Okay, so let's talk about the first house. It's our physical appearance. Keep in mind, Leo, actually, this just dawned on me. I had somebody comment on one of my videos that she actually got pregnant with Jupiter in the first house, because Jupiter kind of expands the waistline. So I usually tell people, watch for water retention, watch for bloating, watch for holding on to like minerals and salt and stuff like that in the body, because Jupiter can quite literally make us a little bit more rounder. And then, yes, I had somebody comment and say she got pregnant, expanding the waistline. I thought that was the coolest thing. So I'm just going to throw it out there as a possibility of a fertility transit. I mean, Jupiter does rule your 5th house of children. So actually, that does make sense for you, Leos. So I'll just throw that out there. Obviously, not for all of you. This could be children or grandchildren or somebody that you know or that you're connected with as well. But yeah, watch the waistline, Leo, because again, Jupiter is going to make us want to indulge. He is similar to Venus in that way, where we just want to take things to the extreme, like drugs, sex, rock and roll, all of the dirty things in life, right, that are really good. Jupiter will want us to just do more of it and more and more, and we're not going to know when to stop, Leo. And plus, Leo is the sign of extravagance. So if you did watch the first part of my video, it's like we have the planet of expansion coming into the sign already of like going big. Hollywood, Bollywood is represented by Leo as well. So again, just watch out for taking things to the extreme. Also, body modifications. I'm also going to throw that in there too. Yeah, not a bad transit to do it. Again, I'd have to see the rest of your birth chart to really confirm that. But again, Leo, it's taking those body modifications to the extreme. I'm not here to preach. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But again, I can see that for a lot of Leos out there, especially in this day and age. And especially with all that connection coming in from the 11th house, the 9th house, and the 7th house as well, Leo. Because again, this is changes to the physical appearance. The physical body is the 1st house as well. Identity shifts, status changes. So again, what is your status wrapped up in, Leo? Is it the job? Is it your partner? Is it the business? Is it your family? That could go through some change. Like Jupiter might challenge you to change something about your status, your identity, and what that's wrapped up in, or who that is wrapped up in, Leo. So just some things to think about. Generally, when Jupiter is moving through the 1st house, it does protect the body. But again, keep in mind, Jupiter can also, as I mentioned, make us bloat. So it could work either way. Again, it depends on how you treat your vessel. Like that's the way it also comes down to as well, especially if this is your true 1st house. Now, as I mentioned, though, with Jupiter moving through here, it's going to also probably expand into your relationships, or it could change your relationship status. I'm just going to put that out there. If you're in a happy, solid marriage, Leo, don't worry about it. I'm not counting you. But for those of you that are looking to get out of a relationship, Jupiter could help you do that. As I mentioned, Jupiter kind of kicks open that door, kicks open that opportunity. Jupiter will also give us that courage, expand on your natural courage, Leo, and your natural leadership style. Leos are natural leaders. They're one of the signs that are born a true leader. That's my belief system. Jupiter's going to expand on that. So he will give you the courage to step up into a new career opportunity, to step up and get that side hustle off the ground, or to give you the courage to approach that partner, whether in business or in love, Leo. So I'll just put that out there. Let's see here. Actually, Jupiter making a connection to your relationship planet of Saturn over the next year. That could definitely bring in an incredible business partnership, an incredible friendship, a new group of people to connect with, like-minded people to connect with, or again, that marital love relationship as well, Leo. So, but again, from a timing perspective, it really depends. Because Jupiter will be making at least a few contacts with Saturn over the next year or so. But again, Pluto, there's so many opportunities here, Leo, to connect with new relationships, like new one-to-one connections, Leo. Okay, Jupiter coming into contact with your Sun, career opportunities, business opportunities, good health and well-being in general. Changes in an authority figure's life. So this could be you as a boss, as an authority figure, Leo, or it could be a father or a male figure in your life, or just bosses in general. So if you work for a boss, for example. If it's your moon sign, this is expansion on the home front. So this is changing up the home, in some way, shape, or form. Some of you could move, but I'd have to see if it's making any aspects to your IC or any aspects to Mars for that matter. That could indicate a move, but again, in general, expansion on the home front, people moving in, people exiting, buying a bigger place could be a possibility because again, Jupiter likes big. Okay, Jupiter's not the, Saturn's the one that reduces, Jupiter's the one that expands. Rising sign, I sort of addressed that already, so I don't want to drive you nuts and repeat myself, but again, health and well-being of the body, you're going to appear more jovial than normal. Leo, your optimism is going to be like 10 times, tenfold. Again, crazy leadership energy, courage, optimism, faith, hope, love. That's all going to be just bleeding out of you, my friends. So you will look good to clients. You will look good to other individuals, partnerships in general, one-to-one connections. You're going to be really magnetic, Leo. You already are. So just think Jupiter is really going to amp up your fire, amp up your flame. You know, moth to the flames. I find Leos naturally get that already. So just, you know, protect your energy, Leo, because I feel like a lot of people are going to be pulling on you over the next year. Whether you are a sun, moon, or rising, I can see it for all of us out there. So just, again, contain your flame, hold it close at times. You might need to kind of like take a step back and take a breather, especially when Jupiter goes retrograde. But Leo, I am really excited for this transit. Like I said, I'm really looking forward to it. Push yourself outside that comfort zone. This can also be really expansive on the financial front because Jupiter rules your 8th house as well, of finances, resources, but Jupiter is your planet of big life shifts and changes, Leo. So this is like I said, this is a game changer for you, for all of us out there. This is really a game changer. Yeah, and just coming back to joy, coming back to what lights you up and lifts you up, Leo. Really try to ingrain that into your day to day, because at the end of the day, this is like a reset for you. This is a brand new 12-year cycle. If you look at it from a chart perspective, well, a rising perspective, I should say. You know, you're starting off with that brand new cycle, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. You know, it's like you're getting your driver's license, you're able to hop into your car. Where are you going to go? You know, like the world is your oyster, my friends. So it's kind of like, what are those next steps? And you're setting yourself up for the next 12 years from a Jupiter perspective, Leo. So anyway, Leo, enjoy this transit and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Virgo, let's look at Jupiter transiting the sign of Leo, and for you this is the 12th house. Now think back, Virgo, to July of 2014 to August of 2015. That is the last time Jupiter moved through this 12th house. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video though, this is going to be a different transit, sort of like a once in a lifetime transit, because we do have other activations with Uranus at the top of your sky, with Saturn and Neptune in your 8th house, and also with Pluto in your 6th house, Virgo. So it's going to be, I don't want to take away from Jupiter here, but being in your 12th house, it's not making any direct aspects to you personally. This is where I'd have to see the rest of your chart to kind of connect the dots. But it's just going to be a different round of energy with Jupiter moving through the 12th house. So if you're thinking back to 2014, 2015, and maybe some not so good things happened, for example, or certain things happened, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to go through that again. This time around, I'm pretty confident to say it's going to be so much different because of all this cradle energy of the other respective signs coming in here. So, and again, if you're interested in learning more, check out the links in the description box below, under other astro transits, where I dive into connecting the dots of these 4 areas of life. But anyway, Virgo, in general, the 12th house can be about stepping away from the spotlight, kind of taking a break. This is sort of like a gestation period where the seeds are being planted. Because at the end of the day, just looking at this transit, Virgo, next year at this time, Jupiter is going to be coming into your first house. And this is setting the reset button in your 7th house of partnerships and also your 4th house of home, family, and foundation, because those are the 2 areas of life that Jupiter rules. So this is almost like a reflection point. This, again, not for all of you, but for some of you, this might pull you into solitude, but not all of you, because at the end of the day, Jupiter does expand on anything he touches. So it also depends on if you have anything in Leo, if you have anything in the 12th house, excuse me, also if you have anything in any of the air or fire signs, obviously it's going to change the story here. But just looking at your 12th house, it's about endings, it's about letting go, it's about reflecting on the past 12 years and where you are right now and what are your next steps, what do you want to move into, especially with this cycle wrapping up of the South Node being in your sign for the last year, year and a half. It's sort of like that release point. It's like anything that no longer you don't want to take with you into the future. It's kind of like Jupiter is helping you with that. Where is your time, your energy, your effort being spent, Virgo? Awakenings. I think a lot of you might go through multiple awakenings with Jupiter in the 12th house, lots of aha moments, lots of synchronicity. I personally love Jupiter in the 12th house, whether natally or by transit, just because it's that extra oomph of spiritual support. Now, don't get me wrong, we all have spiritual support at our fingertips, like anytime we want. But I find with Jupiter, it's a different flavor, it's a different feel. It's like, for example, say you work with Archangel Michael, say you're a practitioner and you only work with one angel. Jupiter through the 12th house, suddenly you're working with 12 angels. Like you got the whole football team of angels behind you. And again, I'm not saying they're never there and this is a one and done transit, but this is going to expand on the spiritual realm, the invisible realm, Virgo. Like this transit might take you down rabbit holes that you never even thought existed, is kind of what I'm getting at here. Synchronicity is huge with Jupiter going through the 12th house as well. So start, if you haven't already done so, Virgo, start noticing those sign symbol synchronicity, because as soon as you pay attention to something, it just, the universe loves that. The other side loves that. The other entities love that. Our spiritual team loves that, because guess what? They're just going to start throwing them at you like constantly. So I love that perspective. So again, Jupiter is going to expand almost like behind the veil for you as well. And by the time Jupiter moves into your first house, you're going to have a whole new perspective on things. Religion, spirituality, whatever your belief systems are, that could go through an overhaul or again, an expansion. You might already expand on whatever your belief systems are right now. Your dreams could probably get pretty vivid with Jupiter moving through the 12th house. So if you're interested, keep a notebook handy or your phone handy or whatever the case may be, because I feel like downloads and insights can also come through during the day when we're daydreaming, so to speak. So it could be in waking state or sleeping state. Just, don't be surprised. Like weird things happen when anything moves through the 12th house, or maybe you do have a loaded 12th house. Like paranormal experiences definitely amp up when anything moves through the 12th house, and especially Jupiter being the planet of religion and spirituality. I have no doubt, Virgo, you're going to have some really incredible experiences with Jupiter moving through this area of life. Also healing. Jupiter is the great healer. So if you have to go through any sort of surgeries or anything with the physical body this year, Jupiter in the 12th house will help you heal and also kind of give you that blanket of protection. But again, you guys, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician. I'm just looking at it generally from a blank slate here perspective, that Jupiter will have your back, so to speak. Also, the 12th house is your hidden gifts, talents, and abilities, Virgo. So this is, again, working on something behind the scenes, usually something unusual, but it doesn't have to be. This could be about your, maybe you're working on your home. Again, Jupiter rules your fourth house, a home, family, foundation. So this could be quite literally working on the home or working on your hobby inside of the home or creating a space in your home for your hobbies. You know, some sort of creative endeavor that you want to do. Jupiter also rules your seventh house of partnerships, Virgo. So this could be, I'm going to throw it out there, like this could be getting to know someone sort of behind the scenes, if that makes sense. So you're connecting with someone, you're getting to know someone, and you're not maybe disclosing that to everyone. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, so don't take that the wrong way. But again, whenever I see Jupiter or Venus or Mars or whatever moving through the 12th house, it can mean connecting with a love partnership or a business partnership for that matter. This could also be business dealings behind the scenes, or getting to know someone behind the scenes, whether in love or in business. And with Jupiter involved, it doesn't have to be, but it could be an international connection. Either somebody from a different state, a different town, a different city, a different cultural background than you, a different country from you, like somebody at a distance. There could be a connection here. So again, it could be love, it could be business, because I can appreciate, you know, not all of you are probably looking. Now, if you're in a solid, stable relationship, I'd say travel. Definitely travel. Get away with your partner. I don't know, do a retreat, because this is also the house of solitude. It's like solitude mixed with international. So it's like going abroad and checking out the temples or doing something special together, like as a couple, to reignite that. And again, Jupiter wants to expand both of your horizons, because again, this is your partnership planet. Even with family. Yeah, what am I talking about? Even with family. Traveling with family, friends, loved ones. Again, anything to do with expanding the horizon and enjoying the experiences with your loved ones, whoever your loved ones are. And that can be friends too. So I don't want to cut them out of the picture, because sometimes our friends are our family. So really beautiful transit for you, Virgo. Again, not making any direct aspects to you, but this is where I'd have to see the rest of your chart to kind of connect the dots. Like, do you have anything in Sagittarius? Do you have anything in Aries? Do you have anything in Taurus or Scorpio? Anything like that? That would kind of change the conversation. But in general, Virgo, really nice transit. Really nice transit. And this is also blessings coming out of the blue. Usually through partnerships, whether in business, love, or friends, or through family. Family, heritage, roots, ancestry, retirement. That conversation could actually come up too over the next year. Also, what do you call that? Like inheritance, wills, things like that could also be coming up over the next year as well, Virgo. So anyway, beautiful transit, my friends. Enjoy, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Libra, let's talk about Jupiter moving through your 11th house. But first, I want to just take you back 12 years. 12 years ago, Jupiter was moving through this area of life. So think back to July of 2014 to August of 2015. That's the last time Jupiter was here. Now, this is going to be a very different picture, though, with Jupiter moving through this area of life. Why? Because it's activating the cradle energy that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So Uranus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius, and also Saturn and Neptune in your opposite sign of Aries is really going to paint a different picture with this respective transit through Leo. So I don't want to take away from Jupiter in Leo, but this is definitely going to be different. Just in case those of you maybe back in 2014, 2015 wasn't the best years, I would say not the exact same thing is going to happen, just because there's so much big change in the atmosphere as it is with these heavy hitters connecting in a cradle type of energy, Libra. And if you want to learn more about that, check out the link in the description box below. Under other astro transits is where you'll find that respective video. But anyway, back to Jupiter here. Now, Jupiter in Leo is, again, really incredible for the fire signs and the air signs, Libra. So this is benefits coming into you from that 11th house. So this is a sextile opportunity. Depending on what you're watching for, sun, moon, rising, or any other placements in Libra, but this is opportunities coming in. So Libra, you will have the choice. This is not automatic. This is not a light switch. I definitely encourage you to lean into new opportunities. I'm asking everyone to lean into something new, because that's what Jupiter wants. Jupiter is pushing you, asking you, kicking the door open for you to learn something new, do something different, do something that you've never done before. And again, I'll explain the 11th house in a bit, because again, these benefits are coming in from that 11th house. But just know, Libra, you don't have to act on everything, because yes, Jupiter, I love Jupiter. I love working with Jupiter. But one thing I noticed is he can be overbearing. He can be a lot because he doesn't have boundaries. He doesn't know what boundaries are, because he just wants to expand our mind. He is the planet of higher knowledge, higher wisdom, and he's also the planet of adventure. So he wants to take you from coast to coast. He wants to take you to all the edges of the world. He doesn't care. He's like, no, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. So just keep that in mind, Libra. I just want you to keep that in mind, that don't feel pressured that you have to. I'm just encouraging everyone to lean into something new, because the energy is so ripe for each and every one of us to change multiple areas of life with all of these transits in particular. So, okay, Libra, benefits coming in from who? Siblings. Jupiter does rule your 3rd house. The 11th house is more about older siblings. So I'm just going to say siblings in general. Could be older, could be younger, could be the same age as you if you do have siblings. So benefits coming in through the sibling area. 11th house is also friendship circles. So again, benefits coming in from the people who you already know. It's the people you rub shoulders with. It's like-minded individuals. This also expands to your work network as well. So networking events, community events. Well, this could also be international connections too, like global groups, local groups. It could be either or. So benefits coming in through these collective or these groups of people. Unions, benefits coming in through unions if you do belong to a union. Any sort of membership affiliation, whether personal or professional, benefits coming through these individuals as well. It's also your role, Libra, within these groups. So I'm just going to throw another caution out here with Jupiter here. It could expand your duties and responsibilities, because Jupiter is your planet of work. He rules over your 6th house, I see. So duty, work, responsibility. Guess what? Jupiter might expand that quite a bit. So being in the 11th house, if you are already the friend that goes above and beyond and arranges the events, or maybe you run a club or a group or something like that, and you already do everything, here's a caution flag. Jupiter is going to give you more to do, Libra. And I don't mean that in a negative way. This is what he does. Trust me, this is what he does. He doesn't mean it for bad. He just wants you to keep going, right? So you might need to enforce those boundaries. Saturn being in your 7th house of partnership, I'm hoping will help you sort of tighten up the belt a little bit when it comes to your one-to-one connections in business, love, friendship circles, whatever the case may be. So you see kind of the dotted line here of where one planet is trying to expand. Saturn is actually trying to help you bring in not only resilient energy, but also just, yeah, like saying to them, you know what, I can't do everything, you guys. Can you guys help me out? Can someone help me out here? So again, between Jupiter and Saturn, they might be testing you with respect to those one-to-one connections. But regardless, benefits coming in through those groups of people. Now, this is the house of gains. Libra. Who was I saying this to? I can't remember now. Was it Aries? Yes, it was Aries. So you and Aries have these transits in one of my favorite axes. So the 5th house, the 11th house, it's on the same axes. These are the houses of good luck and blessings And it's just a couple of my favorite houses personally. So Libra, this should expand your money, you know, your financial situation, whatever that means to you, for you. Now, if you're not working, this would be hobbies, again, humanitarian efforts that you get involved with. This transit could also take you all around the world, especially if you get involved with those global efforts or those global groups. Or maybe you get a job where you're traveling more, or you are traveling, again, this could be local or international because Jupiter rules your third house. So it could be either or. But in general, this looks good from a financial perspective, but please don't bet the farm, okay? I'd have to see more transits in your personal birth chart to really confirm that. But in general, looking at a blank slate here, Jupiter coming into the 11th house usually is really good for money and gains coming into or from the career sector. Again, even if you're not working, connect with a financial advisor, see what they can do to expand your portfolio and make you more money. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but this transit, again, opportunity to reconnect with a financial advisor or a new advisor that could maybe you could dabble in different assets. Okay, so I'll just throw that out there as a possibility. 11th house is also social media and the internet. So, you know, Libra, this could be like a blow up from a internet perspective or a following perspective, or, you know, websites, or if you have a business that you want to put out there. Yeah, Libra, this looks really good, especially with Saturn and Neptune in your 7th house of clients and partnerships. That could help you attract in a new client base, a different client base, a global client base with Jupiter here in your 11th house. So I really like that because this is international money coming your way too, Libra. So that's what I'm saying. Whether you're working or not working, yeah, it's like the money is there. Money is all around us. It's just an energetic match. You just got to connect. Same with love, right? Who are you an energetic match to? And if you don't like who you are attracting, if you don't like your financial situation or whatever your situation is, then level up. You know, change your vibration. And as soon as you do that, you're going to change how money flows to you. You're going to change your client base. You're going to change the kind of partners that you attract, whether in business or in love, Libra. So I am hopeful that Jupiter will help you with that, and also Saturn and also Neptune. So you got 3 heavy hitters, Libra, working with you. And again, it's not a cakewalk, but Jupiter is a benefic. So I am very hopeful coming in from that 11th house. He's going to be extremely beneficial for you, especially, again, sextile opportunity aspects coming into you, into your whatever you're watching for right now. This is also, the 11th house is also like long-term planning, future planning, long-term commitments, goals. Speaking of that, you know, Saturn in the 7th house, bringing in a serious partnership, putting a ring on it. Jupiter making a trine to your 7th house of partnership, Libra. Again, another committed partnership coming in through that 11th house. So I'm seeing 2 signatures here, Libra, of the possibility of getting into bed with someone new, whether literally or, again, from a business perspective. So I like seeing Saturn, I like seeing Jupiter making aspects to the love line. Now I'm talking about Libra risings, okay, particularly. Sun, it could be a possibility. It could be. But Libra rising, if your love line goes through Aries, that's who I'm talking to right now. But it doesn't mean it can't happen with the sun. It's just that the sun is a different sort of energy, Libra. And I would have to see where your Venus is as well. But in general, I like both of these serious planets, I would call them. These are serious transits to bring in serious partnerships, like no fluffy bunny. Unless you want fluffy bunny, then that's a different story. But usually the clients that come to me, they want that serious committed relationship and partnership. So Saturn in the 7th house, Jupiter coming in from the 11th house. It could be a friend. It could be a colleague. It could be somebody that you meet on your travels with your professional endeavors, whatever the case may be, hobbies. Because again, Jupiter is also your planet of being of service. But anyway, Libra, I could go on and on and on about that, but I'm seeing it twice, you know, without even having your birth chart in front of me. So those of you open to meeting someone new, or you are continuing to look for the one, then yes, the energy is just ripening from that perspective. Also with the South Node in here and the North Node in your 5th house of romance and dating as well. So yeah, Libra, lots of good energy coming in from a partnership, friendship, business, clientele perspective. Okay, Libra, if you're watching for your sun sign, let's go back to that. Opportunities coming in, career, purpose, health and vitality, self-expression. Also benefits coming into like male authority figures in your life. So this could be father or grandfather. Now, if it's your moon, if you have your moon in Libra, this would be benefits coming into the female authority figures of your life. So this could be mother, grandmother. This could indicate changes on the home front. I'd have to see a little bit more. But usually this is expanding on the home front. So maybe somebody moving in with you, you moving in with somebody else, could be a friend, could be a partner. Yeah, there's just expansion or changes on the home front if it's your moon sign. And again, if it's your rising sign, we talked about the partnership aspect. But the rising is about how you present yourself to the world. It's the glasses, it's the lenses that we wear. It's how you perceive the world, and it's how people perceive you. So Libra, you're definitely going to be a socialite over the next year, or a social media maven, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I think a lot of you are going to gain some traction if you're looking to gain more traction on social media, websites, YouTube, whatever platform you want to choose. I think you could really get a lot of traction by putting yourself out there, and you're going to look good, Libra. You know, Jupiter from this angle is making you look really good. He's embedding all of that jovial energy, that expansive energy, the go big or go home type of energy. And you actually, Libra, could be a blessing in other people's lives as well, sharing your gifts, talents, and abilities with the world. So I'll leave it at that, Libra. So enjoy this transit. It's going to be a really good transit for you, my friends. So enjoy, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, Scorpio, let's talk about Jupiter transiting the top of your sky over the next year. And yeah, lucky you, Jupiter in the 10th house is definitely a game changer. And not only that, Scorpio, it's transiting a big angular house. So this is happening for all the fixed signs. So I'm kind of repeating myself here. If you have any planets, places, points in the other signs, you probably heard me say this already. So this is a life changer. This is a game changer. So let's definitely break this down. So the 10th house, what is the 10th house? Purpose, your higher calling, what you are meant to do. What are you here to do, Scorpio? This is your career. Could be home life, could be retirement as well, depending on the stage you're at right now. This is your reputation. This is your status. This is your public image. Now, what do I mean by status? So what is your status wrapped up in, Scorpio? So for some of us, it's, you know, being a stay-at-home parent. For some of us, it's owning a business, running a business. For some of us, it's, you know, our marital relationships or our relationships in general. So it's whatever status means to you. That is likely going to be up for some change with Jupiter moving through the 10th house. This is also bosses and authority figures in your life, Scorpio. So this could be you as a boss, if you are a boss. If you work for somebody, if you do the regular 9-to-5 grind, this could mean changes at the top of the food chain, changes with CEO, big corporate structures if you work in the corporate world, or again, you as a boss, there's something here that probably needs to change in your business, or you need to pivot in some way, shape, or form. Also, this could be changes with mother, father, authority figures in your life. This could also include grandparents if they're still with us. So they could also be going through some change and possibly some challenges in these respective areas of life as well. Also, if you're a parent, this could change up something to do with your parenting style. For some of you, I feel like you might take more of a hands off, or like almost like a disconnected. I'm getting like a disconnected feel for you, Scorpio. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that maybe some of you need to Maybe some of them are leaving the nest this year or kind of spreading their wings and doing their own thing. And then now you can dive into your passions, your hobbies, new work, or whatever the case may be. So that's what I mean about disconnect. I'm kind of feeling like there's definitely a change in or a restructuring and something to do with your family dynamics as well. I mean, Jupiter does rule your 5th house of children, so there could be definitely changes in their lives as well, which means that how you parent or how you look after them or take care of them probably might be up for some change as well. Now, I want to talk about the square energy, Scorpio, because Jupiter at some point will be squaring your sun, your moon, your rising, or whatever you're watching for. Whatever you have in Scorpio right now, at some point, Jupiter is going to square it. Now, that is a tension. I'm not going to lie, Scorpio. That is a tension aspect. That is like Jupiter kind of pushing you up against a wall saying, okay, look, now is the time to make these changes. Here's a door that I'm going to kick open for you. Are you going to make those changes now, or are you going to continue to be uncomfortable in your circumstances? Basically what this transit does, especially with Jupiter, because he's a benefic, he's a good guy. He's trying to help us out. He's not trying to cripple us and crush us like some of these other heavy hitters do to us at times. Jupiter is, yes, he's making you uncomfortable, but he's doing that for a reason. And it just means something has to change in this area of life. And again, we talked about your career. We talked about the 10th house. But I'm going to be honest with you, Scorpio, for those of you in a relationship that's not working, that's not benefiting you anymore. Now, this could be a friendship. This could be a partnership in love or in business. This could even be, again, your children, because Jupiter is your ruler of that area of life. He also rules your work and your money. There could be something here that absolutely needs to change. Now, Jupiter here is a blessing. He's going to, again, give you that opportunity. Sorry, it's been a long day. Give you that opportunity to, again, change this circumstance that you just know deep down in your soul it's got to go. There's something here that's got to go here, Scorpio. So again, it could be job related, could be home related, could be relationship related, or it could be something that you're hanging on to from an identity perspective that needs to pass away, that needs to go, basically, Scorpio. So anyway, I leave it at that. But this is a tension aspect. This is an aspect that's going to make you move. It's going to make you take action in at least, well, I'm going to think multiple areas of life, but at least one area of life, which has to do with your status, your career, your purpose, your higher calling, basically. Or this could be, again, events, people, places, things coming into your life, Scorpio, and then you have to respond and react to it. Because again, at the end of the day, Jupiter just wants to expand our horizons. He wants us to feel good. He wants to amp up our spirits. He doesn't care to what extremity. He wants to take you from one end of the coast to the other, or one end of the planet to the other, and he doesn't care. He has no boundaries. So keep that in mind as well. This is also a common transit of biting off more than you can chew from a career perspective, or again, home, life, family dynamic. Your partners could be pulling on you, work could be pulling on you, your kids could be pulling on you, or grandkids for that matter. I think I forgot to mention that. Jupiter also rules over your grandchildren. So there could be a lot of people pulling at you, Scorpio. So you need to, Saturn in your 6th house, I'm hoping will help you rein in duty and responsibility. Like, who are you in service to? Where do your duties and responsibilities lie? And do you have to do everything? I don't think you have to, Scorpio, but you do you, my friends. So a lot of that dynamic, I think, could be coming up for you over the next year as well. Again, this is not a negative transit. So don't, I hope I don't sound negative. It's just that when I see the square aspect, I do want to, heed that caution that this is a transit where you have to act on something, Scorpio. This isn't the time to kind of sit back and just let things happen. Because again, trust me, people, places, things, circumstances will put pressure on you. So something has to give or take in these respective areas of life, if that makes sense. Also, did I mention, think back to July of 2014 to August of 2015. That's the last time you had Jupiter in this area of life. So think back to that time, what happened. Similar themes could be coming up, but again, this is a different beast this time around because you have Pluto down in your 4th house. You have Saturn and Neptune in your 6th house of work and how you're being of service. And then you have Gemini in your 8th house of death, rebirth, transformation, intimacy, financial situation. So this cradle energy, it's going to be beyond Jupiter here. You have all these areas of life working together. If you want to learn more about that, check out the links in the description box below under other astro transits. I talk a little bit more about the cradle energy. But yeah, this is just beyond the career house, Scorpio, I feel for you. But regardless, Jupiter square the sun, if you're a Scorpio sun, this is changes with the career. This is changes with your purpose. Your personality might even shift and change and pivot. Your vitality, your self-expression. Keep in mind, again, work-life balance here. Burning the candle at both ends might catch up with you, especially with Pluto and Jupiter challenging your aspects at some point. Just heed the call, heed the call. If Jupiter is squaring your health, well-being, and vitality, it might be time to kind of, again, take a step back and reassess your health from that perspective. With Saturn in your 6th house, same messaging there. Saturn's going to be testing you from a health and well-being perspective, Scorpio. So now if it's your moon sign, again, changes in the home. Some of you might relocate. Some of you might renovate the home, especially with Pluto downstairs in your 4th house, a home family foundation. It depends. Family dynamics are definitely up for some change as well. Something has to change here if you are watching for your Scorpio moon. And again, if it's your rising sign, it's how you present yourself to the world. It's how you perceive the world. It's how the world perceives you. It's the glasses, it's the lenses that we wear. So again, your identity, your vitality, your physical, like how you're taking care of your physical vessel, Scorpio, could be up for some change for sure. But otherwise, Scorpio, that is pretty much it. Again, for all the fixed signs, this is a game changer. This could be a life changer with Jupiter activating all the big areas of life on top of the other transits that are happening here. So not a bad transit, Scorpio. It's just now it's time to integrate, taking all those lessons that you've learned over the past year with Jupiter moving through that 9th house. It's now time to pull that into the career sector and change what you're doing from a 9 to 5 perspective. Or like I mentioned, this might move you into retirement. This might kind of be that final straw of, you know what? You're going to be retiring by the time this Jupiter cycle wraps up. Again, not for all of you, but a possibility here because you're huge status shifts and changes here, my friends, when it comes to a very public area of your sky. So Scorpio, enjoy this transit and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Sagittarius, let's talk about Jupiter moving through your 9th house of Leo. And yeah, Sag, lucky you. This is a trine. This is incredible, beautiful flowing energy into your planets, placements, angles, whatever you're watching for right now, Sagittarius. So I love this for you. And also Aries, another fellow fire sign, and all the air signs are really getting the benefit of Jupiter moving through the sign of Leo. One caution I want to just throw out there right now is, yes, this energy is flowing into you, Sagittarius. This is also your planet, by the way. This is your ruler. So overindulgence is going to be on the menu for the next 12 months, let's say. So you're going to want to just indulge and take a step back and just expand on every single front, no matter what the costs are. Now, the costs could mean different things. Yes, it could be financial, but the costs could mean work-life balance, or being up in the clouds for too long, denying or ignoring duty, responsibility, drugs, sex, rock and roll, all that fun stuff, Sag. So I just want to throw that out there. Why? Because with trines, they're incredible. Okay, trines are beautiful. Like I said, easy flowing energy. But with Jupiter, Jupiter has no boundaries. And on top of it, this is your planet, Sag, activating a house that you are very familiar with. Plus, it's Leo. It's like go big or go home, tenfold, Hollywood, Bollywood, going to the extremes. So that's just my cautionary tale for you, Sagittarius, is at times you might need to rein yourself in, or maybe you have a loved one that can help rein you in, my friends. Again, not a bad energy, but I just want to throw that caution out there before I forget, because yes, I always get carried away with the optimistic stuff and I kind of forget about the caution, the red flags that we got to notice with Jupiter moving through Leo. But all in all, Sag, this is absolutely phenomenal, incredible energy coming into your career, coming into your health and well-being, coming into your partnership sector, and coming into your home family foundation, because I see Jupiter also rules your 4th house as well. So let's first talk about the 9th house, Sagittarius. Again, you have an affiliation, a connection to the 9th house here. So again, this transit is going to be such an incredible transit for all the Sagittarius individuals out there. So religion, spirituality, your belief systems could really take off, or you could just dive down the rabbit hole and learn more about that. Learn about maybe multiple different avenues of religion and culture and belief systems. 9th house is higher education and teaching as well. Man, if there's any of you that want to publish a book or write a book, oh, this is the transit to do it, my friends. I mean, I don't have your chart in front of me. I'm just looking at a blank slate here. But the 9th house of downloads and channeling, and the house of the gods, you got your ruler up there. It's Leo energy mixing with your energy. Oh my goodness, folks. This is reaching a higher, wider audience beyond what you could ever imagine. So Sag, if that's kind of on your bucket list, I would try to engage that this year, because even when Jupiter moves into your 10th house, that could still be, again, that higher calling, higher purpose, and reaching a higher, wider audience. Like Jupiter is going to be expanding your public life for quite some time here, folks. So yeah, very incredible energy if you're a writer, a blogger, social media, internet, anything like that. Also teaching, if you're a teacher, if you're a coach, if you're a mentor. Maybe some of you are going to step into the role of being an elder. Now, I'm not saying you're old, Sagittarius. I know a lot of young people out there that they just blow my mind with the knowledge they have. So it doesn't matter the age, Sagittarius. You are stepping into, or could be stepping into, the role of becoming a teacher. But with that said, maybe some of you are going back to school. This would be university or college education. This isn't so much elementary type of educational pursuits, or pursuits that are sort of manual. I'm thinking like working with the hands and the fingers and the legs and the arms. It's more expanding on the mind with an international connection. So some of you could quite literally be studying abroad, whatever that means to you. Now, it doesn't mean you can't study locally, or you can't get into a field like maybe some of you, massage therapy, or just, again, working with, I'm thinking science. Doesn't mean it can't happen, because Pluto being in your 3rd house as well. But the 9th house is really about expanding your horizons from a mental perspective. Yeah, there's just an extra focus on that. And again, a big global influence here. Traveling, off the charts energy for traveling. You guys, I know right now the energy on the planet is not the greatest, but nothing lasts forever. And Jupiter is going to be here for an entire year. So Jupiter really wants to expand your horizons, quite literally, Sagittarius. And you are the sign that represents travel. So a lot of you, this is going to make your heart sing, my friends, whether you're sun, moon, or rising, it doesn't matter. Travel, 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 travel over the next year. Expanding your mind, expanding, just learning something new. It doesn't mean you have to go back to school. That's only, again, I'm just throwing out examples, Sag. So I'm not saying all of you are going to go through this. I'm just throwing out examples, some nuggets of information here. But this is just going to blow your mind from a travel perspective, because again, it goes beyond this Jupiter transit. It's also connecting to Uranus in your 7th house of partnerships, Saturn and Neptune in your 5th house, Pluto downstairs, as I mentioned, in your 3rd house. So this is just, yeah, this is wild, Sag. This is a once in a lifetime transit, hands down, once in a lifetime. And yeah, last but not least, not only dealing with people from all over the globe, but this is about pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. So if you own a business, run a business, Sag, this is the time to get online. This is the time to get that website up and running. This is the time to market to a big, wide audience, like global, like go big, Sagittarius, with this energy, or at least I'm encouraging you to at least take those small steps this year to get something off the ground. Because like I mentioned, Jupiter, even moving into the 10th house, is a game changer. It changes your life when these planets hit the big angular houses. Uranus in your 7th house, that's going to attract in a very unique, different client base. For those of you that own a business, run a business, whatever the case may be, it's absolutely incredible. So yeah, Sag, I love this energy coming in. And also, again, think back 12 years ago to kind of give you that flavor of, or some ideas of what you can kind of build on. Now, let's see here. I don't want to forget anything. So Jupiter trine your sun. So for those of you that are Sagittarius sun, this is opportunities coming on into the career sector, changes on the career front. But again, only if you want to. This isn't a square. So next year, I know I'm getting way ahead of myself here. Next year, you're going to get the square. That's a different conversation. So my conversation is going to change. The trine, like I mentioned, sometimes we don't feel trines. Sometimes it's just, again, a lackadaisy, you're in a cozy, comfy job, things are going fine, or you're an entrepreneur, things are going fine. The trine energy, sometimes we do not even notice, and we don't even take advantage of this energy. So it really depends, Sagittarius, on how you utilize this energy coming into your sun sign. But I would say there should be opportunity to expand on the business front, the home front, if it's your moon. Relocation is possible. It is possible, but I would have to see your full birth chart to kind of get a flavor of that, because Jupiter does rule your 4th house. So this could be renovating your home, buying a new home, buying a bigger home, changes on the home front. So like people coming in, moving in with you, or people leaving. Could also be your furry friends too, right? It's not all about children and family and stuff. It could be your furry pets as well. Now, if it's your rising sign, this is how you present yourself to the world. So this is the glasses, the lenses that we wear. It's also it's those first impressions, and it's how people see us. So similar sort of messaging here. It's a trine. So the energy is flowing to you, Sagittarius, to kind of change your image. Could be changing your image, your style, your personality. You're definitely going to really take on those Jupiterian qualities. So jovial, abundant. I think you are going to show up, Sagittarius, and be a blessing or a miracle in other people's lives. That's kind of how I see it as well. For those of you that are single Sagittarians and looking, this is more so your rising though. So if your descendant goes through Gemini, those of you, this is the message for those of you, because your sun sign, it's not, I'll come back to that in a second here, but Jupiter hitting the love line from a sextile, from an opportunity aspect. This could be a really serious, incredible partnership coming in at a distance. So this is business or in love or new friendship connections or friendship circles as well. really nice energy. And again, I like seeing when clients come to me and we talk about their relationships, I always look at Jupiter transits and Saturn transits, because Saturn is putting a ring on it. Saturn is in your 5th house, by the way. So that can bring in a very incredible, serious partnership with that connection to Jupiter in your 9th house. They're going to have a different background. They're going to have a different culture, different religion, different spiritual belief systems, not in a bad way, because again, expanding your horizons, Sag, right? So I love this energy if you're single and looking. If you're already connected to a partnership, I would say travel. I'd say reconnect with what brings you joy and do things together that light you up and lift you up, that bring in new educational experiences, like learn something new, but also expand your horizons at the same time, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like those stories, those inside jokes that you can kind of share with other people, or when you're sitting around the dinner table, whatever the case may be. But Sag, this is the time to find the joy and the blessings back into your life and incorporate them, because the energy is flowing into you so easily. You can kind of get caught up with the mundane and wasting time and spinning your wheels. But I can also see that you can get a lot of traction if you take advantage of this energy. Because like I said, this is not squaring energy to you, which is a good thing, But for those of you that really want to change your existence and really want to change your life, you got to put in a little bit of elbow grease. You got to put in a little bit of that effort. Now, Uranus is the only one that's really going to electrify you, but I don't want to take away from Jupiter here. But all in all, Sagittarius, incredible energy coming into your planets, placements, points. Again, beautiful energy coming into the career front for those of you that are still working. Or hey, maybe you want to retire abroad. I can see that as well, because Jupiter rules over your 4th house of retirement as well. So Sag, enjoy this transit. It's going to be an incredible one for you folks. And we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Capricorn, let's talk about Jupiter moving through your 8th house of Leo. And Jupiter moving through the 8th house, you don't really see eye to eye with this house. Like, you actually don't really see it. That's why it's a psychological sort of house, is the 8th house. But you're going to like this transit, Capricorn, because yes, it is it's about money. Yes, it is about money, finances, and resources, and also intimacy as well. So we will get to that in just a second here. But first, think back to July of 2014 to August of 2015, Capricorn. This will kind of give you a flavor or a feeling or a reminder of maybe what this energy could bring forward to you in this transit. Now, this is different though, because the last time Jupiter was in Leo, we did not have Pluto in Aquarius. We did not have Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and we did not have Uranus in Gemini. So this is really going to complete that cradle activation that I talked about at the first part of my video. If you want to learn more about that, check out the links in the description box below under other astro transits, where I talk about these 4 areas of life. So because I don't want to take away from Jupiter here. But all in all, Capricorn, Jupiter moving through the 8th house, not exactly a bad transit, but it is a deep, intense psychological house. And as I mentioned earlier, Jupiter expands anything he touches. So even if you have nothing in the sign of Leo, Capricorn, this is still going to bubble up like things from the past, skeletons in the closet. Like, it's drudging up things for a reason. Let's see here. Jupiter rules your 3rd house, and Jupiter also rules your 12th house, Capricorn. So yes, there's a double dose there of things coming back around from the past that have not been addressed. This might have a connection to family. This might have a connection to siblings, cousins, neighbors, relatives, past experiences when it comes to community, like what community means to you. So if anything bubbles up, keep in mind this is a year-long transit. So this is not a one and done thing, especially when Jupiter makes an inconjunct to your respective planet placements, points, whatever you're watching for. Something might come up like a trigger. The 8th house is trauma. So something might come up And I don't mean to upset you, Capricorn, okay? This is not I'll get it, trust me, I'll get into the good stuff in just a second here. But I don't want to ignore the fact that Jupiter being in the 8th house is really going to push things up into the open. So when things come into your awareness, I just encourage you, don't push it down. Work with a healer, work with a counselor, work with a light worker. 8th house is taboo, by the way. Go to a practitioner that you've never seen before. Psychics, tarot readers, astrologers, anything metaphysical lands in the 8th house here. So think beyond traditional medicine when Jupiter goes through this 8th house, because it is a very deep healing house, because you don't want to take this junk with you when Jupiter moves into that 9th house next year, which is going to make incredible aspects to your planet's placements points. But for now, it's kind of like doing the dirty work and getting to the bottom of something once and for all, Capricorn. So anyway, that's not for all of you. That's just an example. Now, the 8th house is quite literally the house of death and rebirth. You could be dealing with inheritance. You could be dealing with wills. You could be dealing with cleaning up estates. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not saying all of you, someone's going to die, okay, or you're going to die, Capricorn. No, it's just, again, that's what the 8th house carries. Jupiter is one of the wealthy gods, opposing Pluto, again, in a area of life that rules money and finances and resources. That could definitely be a possibility. Jupiter rules your 3rd house of relatives. So again, you could be cleaning up estates or being involved with some sort of transaction of buying and selling and property and cleaning things up, because that's what the 8th house is all about, death and rebirth. Or maybe you, Capricorn, you know what? Not a bad year to do a will. If you haven't already done a will, of course, depending on your age, really nice energy coming into the 8th house to work with a lawyer or somebody that you trust to draw up that will. Also, taxes, debts, loans. So tax breaks, business breaks, connecting with an accountant, a financial advisor to give you those breaks, or what do you call it, like tricks of the trade and things like that, like manipulating the money, the finances in the background to gain and line your pockets, Capricorn. So not a bad year to do this as well. Jupiter in the 8th house, mortgages coming through, loans coming through. Like if you need money, Capricorn, it's there. Like if you need to buy a house or property or whatever the case may be, buying, selling, the money's there. The money will be there. The money shows up. Your application gets approved. Jupiter is a blessing when it comes to that sort of transactional support. But again, I'm going to throw it out there. Jupiter expands anything he touches. So guess what? Jupiter is go big or go home. Mixed with Leo energy, it's really, really expanding on the luxury front. So just an example, I'm not saying all of you are going to do this, but say you're looking for a home and you're looking for a mortgage around $350,000 or $400,000 for, I don't know, a bungalow or something. But then you get tempted or swayed to like buy a big luxurious home that's maybe double the cost, but do you really need that? So I'm not gonna preach at you, Capricorn, but that's Jupiter. That's, and Leo. That's that type of energy, Capricorn. I know you make money well, you're a good provider, but this is the house of also spending. Plus Pluto is in your 2nd house as well. So all in all, the money's going to be there, Capricorn. But again, just some of you, if you're looking to tighten up the belt from a financial perspective, Jupiter in the 8th house will really test you from that perspective, because he'll want you, this is a very luxurious transit for Jupiter. So he's going to want you to spend the big bucks, that's for sure. But again, Jupiter in the 8th house can really line your pockets, Capricorn, especially your partner's pockets. So for those of you in a business partnership, a marital partnership, even those of you that like have a family business or anything like that, really nice energy coming in for that. Your partner maybe gets a new job. This is bonuses and commissions, either coming into you or coming into them, their bank account. And again, maybe you share bank accounts or something along those lines. But my point is you benefit from your business partnerships, your marital partnerships, Capricorn. So, you know, not a bad transit at all. Now, if you're single, this is again money coming into you from other sources. So this could be clients, this could be the government, as I mentioned, this could be tax breaks, this could be property, inheritance, investments as well. Let's see, what else could this be? For those of you actually single, actually with Jupiter in your 7th house, Capricorn, I'd be surprised if you are still single, but Jupiter through the 7th house can also make you single. For those of you that were in a partnership for a long time, Jupiter in the 7th house, it's a silver lining. It's kind of like, okay, now it's time to separate the assets, move through the divorce. Maybe some of you are doing that now with Jupiter moving through the 8th house. So if you are single, Capricorn, the 8th house is also intimacy and sex. So Jupiter in here could definitely bring in a sexual partnership, 100%. And if you are with someone right now, if you are connected with someone right now, again, this is going to bring in benefits to the bedroom for sure. Get to know your partner again, experiment, travel, do some kinky stuff, Capricorn, spice it up, whatever that means to you, for you. This is definitely a good transit for intimacy and sexuality for sure. Let's see here. I think that was about all I was going to mention here, Capricorn, besides, yeah, even going into business with a relative is not a bad thing either through this transit, because Jupiter does rule your 3rd house of siblings, going into business with a sibling or a cousin or a relative, or again, benefits coming in through the community, your local community where you're living right now, benefits coming in. Those of you own a business, run a business, again, your clients, there could be a focus on, well, it could be either or, because Jupiter is international. So, I mean, it could be either or, Capricorn, but money could be coming in from local sources is what I'm trying to get at as well. Buying and selling looks really good too. Well, buying we talked about, but also selling looks really good too. So if you are selling anything, even vehicles, property, that looks really good with Jupiter in your 8th house, and you'll profit. Like, you'll definitely be making a profit with Jupiter moving through that 8th house, Capricorn. So otherwise, Capricorn, that's all I was going to talk about with in general. To add more layers, I would have to see your whole birth chart, because again, Jupiter's not making an aspect to you directly. It's an inconjunct. So again, when Jupiter makes those exact aspects to your sun, moon, or rising, it's going to make you act on something. It's kind of like a square type of energy, but you don't really know where it's coming from. Like, you can't pinpoint the source. That's why I'm saying with the psychological aspect, I think that's going to be really coming to the forefront, Capricorn. So again, don't push anything down with this transit. Not the healthiest thing to do. I would say, again, talk to someone, counseling, therapist, trusted loved ones, or again, taboo. 8th house is anything taboo and unusual. Go to a practitioner that, you know, you're being called to sort of lean into, because again, Jupiter is your planet of spirituality too. So your guts, your intuition should be on point versus the logical mind with this transit. So just go with your gut, Capricorn, and I don't think that's going to let you down. All right. Enjoy this transit, Capricorn, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Aquarius, let's talk about Jupiter moving through your opposite sign of Leo and what that could mean for each and every one of you over the next year. So keep in mind, this energy is going to be with you all year long. Now think back, Aquarius, to July of 2014 until August of 2015. That's the last time we had Jupiter transiting your 7th house of partnerships. But this time around definitely has a different flavor and a feel, because the last time Jupiter was here, Pluto was definitely not in your sign. Saturn and Neptune were not in Aries, and we now have Uranus in Gemini. So it's making a cradle aspect in the sky, and Jupiter is the final piece of the puzzle that's moving in place that's activating 4 areas of life. Now, I don't want to take away from Jupiter here, but the reason why I'm mentioning that is just in case maybe something not so good happened back then, or again, think back beyond that. Every 12 years, Jupiter comes back around to this area of your life. Not the exact same things are going to happen. The same flavor and feel will be there. But again, all of these big other heavy hitters, the outer planets, are definitely going to bring in new experiences into this 7th house area of life for you, Aquarius. So if you want to learn more about the cradle energy, check out the link in the description box below under other astro transits, and you'll be able to watch that video and I talk about the 4 areas of life. But anyway, Aquarius, 7th house is pretty straightforward. This is all about your one-to-one connections. So this is beyond love. Yes, it does include love and marital partnerships, but it's also your client base for those of you that own a business, run a business. It's the clients that you attract in towards you. It's your business partnerships. It's any sort of one-to-one connections with people. So this could expand to family, friendship circles, friends, loved ones, even our immediate family members as well. Because again, it's anything to do with one-to-one connections. Jupiter, I see, rules your 11th house of friendship circles anyway, humanitarian efforts, unions, if you're affiliated with any unions or personal, professional memberships. And also, Jupiter is one of your work planets as well, Aquarius. So those business partnerships, those business relationships, co-workers, colleagues, people that you see on a daily basis as well. And also Jupiter is one of your financial planets. It's a money planet as well. So Aquarius, I'm hoping for you with this transit. Again, this is a huge magnifier for you, Aquarius, especially with Pluto in your sign and Jupiter and Pluto opposing each other. This is big manifestation on not only with your identity and your status and who you are and how you're showing up in the world and your purpose and your higher calling, but it's also the people that you're attracting into your life that can take you to that next step. So as I mentioned, this is your clients. If you own a business, run a business, this is incredible energy coming in for you, Aquarius. So I love this for you. Take advantage of those opportunities, collaborations. You don't have to take all the opportunities though, because again, we all know not every opportunity that comes our way benefits us. Like, make sure it benefits you, Aquarius. I think you could also be the blessing in other people's lives as well. You could also be giving other people a leg up. So maybe you have a very successful, prominent business, and you could be giving other people a leg up or an opportunity to work with you or for you as well. So I can see it kind of going both ways, because you are a power player, Aquarius. If you've been following me for a while, I've been harping about that a lot. With Pluto in the 1st house, this is really going to make you a powerful player in the chessboard of life that we call life, I should say. So this is very potent for you, but also specifically for your partnerships as well and who you are connecting with on a one-to-one basis. Now, obviously, Aquarius, this could definitely bring in a solid partnership. You know, whenever I see clients that are looking for love or marriage or signatures of meeting the one, or a twin flame energy or whatever you want to call it or consider it, I look to Jupiter and Saturn, and both of them are making incredible aspects to you, Aquarius, especially rising. Not so much the sun. If you're an Aquarius sun, you know, that's more career, life force, purpose, and vitality. There's definitely opportunities coming in from those avenues and angles. But from a love perspective, it's your love line. So does your love line go through Leo? And if it does, that means that Saturn down in your 3rd house will eventually make a connection to your love line. And then Jupiter will literally touch your love line more than once, probably with the retrograde there. I guess depending on, depending on your houses, Jupiter will probably make 3 passes at your descendant, or what I call the partnership line or the love line, for example. So what I'm rambling about, or what I'm getting at, is this could bring in a very serious partnership from a business perspective or a marital perspective, or just a solid partnership, like, that best friend type of energy that turns into something more, like something greater. And it's like that lifelong partnership. I have no doubt, Aquarius, you are going to be making those lifelong connections with family, friends, loved ones, with all this energy in your third house, your seventh house, and even Jupiter ruling that 11th house. And even Uranus in your fifth house as well. This is that joy. That's, Uranus is breaking you free of any stagnation that's happening in your life right now from a romantic love perspective, but also from a creative perspective as well, Aquarius. So you can kind of see how all this bleeds together of blessings coming into this seventh house and benefits too, Aquarius. So yes, you could be scratching other people's backs, but they could be scratching yours, so to speak, and not in a negative way. Maybe some of you haven't heard that terminology, so maybe I shouldn't have said that. But it's benefits. It's, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of mentality, which is a good thing. So benefits coming in through the partnership sector, gains coming into that partnership sector as well. Yeah, wealth too, very wealthy. I'm picking up as well, wealthy partnerships coming your way, again, whether in love or in business. But it could also be you being the wealthy power player as well, Aquarius. But in general, oppositions, actually, you're the only sign that's experiencing this as an opposition, Aquarius. So oppositions, I find with Jupiter, are big, big, big manifestation, especially with Jupiter opposing Pluto at some point there. Well, it's going to be happening pretty quick here. So big manifestation when it comes to love, marriage, contracts, agreements, negotiations. This is a rebalancing in your partnership sector as well. It could be bleeding into the career too, Aquarius. So just keep that in mind. Anything that happens in the big angular houses. So that's the first, the seventh, the 10th, and the 4th. This is, again, rebalancing all those big areas of life. So if you're burning the candle at both ends, maybe it's time to kind of gut check that, because Jupiter will definitely be a heavyweight here, and he might tip the tables a bit and make you realize, like, maybe you're overworking, maybe you're overcommitting to someone or something. Jupiter in the 7th house can also, like, a lot of people might be pulling on you. So, you got business, you got work, you got loved ones, you got the kids, you got whatever the case may be, you got home duties, responsibilities. So again, Jupiter is going to bring that to your attention, not in a negative way, but he will kind of put the pressure or the heat on you, quite literally being in a fire sign, to kind of change up something here. Like there's a dynamic here, Aquarius, that you might need to change up, shake up, or wake up in this area of life. But yeah, manifestation is definitely on point with this one. Huge expansion on the partnership sector. I'm going to put it out there, Aquarius, for those of you in a relationship that, this is not for all of you, by the way, but those of you in a relationship that is just not working anymore, Jupiter, believe it or not, in the 7th house will help you separate the assets, go through the divorce process. Jupiter in the 7th, and then eventually he's going to carry into the 8th, will sort of help ease that tension when we all go through a separation or divorce. And also Jupiter quite quickly could bring in a partnership right away, or maybe that's why you are separating from a business partnership or a love partnership. Jupiter can help you get out of those entanglements, those situations, by bringing in a partnership just as quick. But again, it doesn't mean someone's waiting in the wings right away. It could be, but it might be just Jupiter's like, you know what, enough is enough. And he gives you the courage and the faith and the optimism that you're going to be okay. You can stand on your own 2 feet, Aquarius, especially with Pluto in your first house. Like, you're a powerhouse, whether you realize it or not. And Jupiter's going to help sort of make you realize that, if that makes sense. Because again, Leo is courage of the heart and leading with the heart. Not so much leading, like you're a very incredible intellectual sign, Aquarius, and you have that gift of detachment. So you already have that calm, cool sort of exterior. But then if for some of you, if you're kind of like, I can't do this, Jupiter is going to help you with that. But again, this is not for all of you, so please don't panic if you're in a solid relationship, Aquarius, and you're happily married or whatever the case may be. Again, this is not for all of you. It's just that I have noticed that with Jupiter in the 7th house, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. It's that silver lining of, you know, mutual agreement. You go your separate ways, whether it's in business or in love, Aquarius. So Jupiter opposing your sun, again, could be business opportunities definitely coming in, new work opportunities, because like I mentioned, Jupiter is one of your work planets. He also rules your 11th house. So opportunities coming in through friendship circles, love coming in through friendship circles as well. I'm going to throw that out there. Love also coming in through work connections, like people that you work with. Second house is also like upgrading your skill set, and Jupiter is the planet of educational pursuits. So you might meet someone in an educational setting, a new group of people in an educational setting that can maybe take you to the next level in your career. Again, it's that networking. Jupiter is your networking planet, Aquarius. So it's kind of like rubbing shoulders with like-minded people, and you know, you benefiting them benefiting you. It's an all-around really nice, well-rounded energy with Jupiter in your opposite sign. So career opportunities, but again, up to you if you want to take them or not. And if it's your moon sign, changes on the home front for sure. Could also be changes on the work front, because the moon also rules another work house for you, Aquarius. Also rules your house of duty, responsibility. So there could be some changes there as well. Changes on the like family dynamics, family situation, people moving out, people moving in, maybe getting a bigger home. Jupiter opposing your moon, it's kind of like, okay, time to get a house where I need more bedrooms, you know, for the kiddos, or maybe you're moving in with a partner, need to get a bigger home because your families are coming together, whatever the case may be. But Jupiter expands on anything he touches. So just keep that in mind, even though this is an opposition. Oppositions are not bad, but they can be uncomfortable. Like I said, Jupiter tips the scale. He makes you heavy on one side, and you're like, okay, something's got to move here so I can get more balance in my existence or in my partnerships. And again, if it's your rising sign, we talked about it, mainly about partnerships, mainly about business, contracts, agreements, negotiations, and blessings coming in from that angle. Also, with your rising sign, you could appear more jovial, more cooperative. I'm not saying you're not, Aquarius, but you might appear different. Again, Jupiter is going to attract. You're going to be very magnetic over the next year with Jupiter coming into this house. Because again, that's people coming towards you because they're attracted to you and something about your personality as well. So some of you might not change a thing. It's just, again, Jupiter hitting your rising sign changes how it's like changing your vibration. It's like changing up energetically. And if you like that, Aquarius, then you can stay on that wavelength, if you know what, if that makes any sense at all. But anyway, Aquarius, really nice transit, really nice energy coming in here for you. Enjoy this transit, enjoy the year ahead, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now. Hey Pisces, let's talk about your ruler moving through your 6th house of Leo over the next year. So Pisces, think back to July of 2014 to August of 2015. So what was happening back then? If you want to go further back, you can certainly go back every 12 years or so. That's when Jupiter would have been traveling through this area of life. Now, I'm confident to say, though, Pisces, not the exact same things are going to happen, because as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you did watch it, Jupiter is the final piece of the puzzle to activate this cradle that's happening in the sky. If you want to learn more about that, check out the link in the description box below under other astro transits. That's where I talk about the respective 4 areas of life that are going to be lit up for, well, many years. This started in 2025. This energy is going to take us well into 2030 and beyond, Pisces. So I don't want to take away from Jupiter here, but just in case something not so good happened back then, first of all, I don't know if that would have been Jupiter as the culprit, to be honest, because it takes more than one planet to tango when it comes to these activations in multiple areas of life. So anyway, Pisces, The sixth house is a busy, busy, busy day-to-day house. Now, I know you just wrapped up Jupiter in your fifth house. This would have been an easy flowing energy into your sign. But now Jupiter is kind of going off the map. Like, you're not going to see your ruler for another year now when he's opposing you in Virgo there. It's called an inconjunct. So I know it's as awkward as it sounds, Pisces. So meaning Jupiter is not really going to be activating your planet's placements points. At some time he will. It's sort of like it might feel like a square sort of energy where you have to act on something or take action on something. Because again, Jupiter in the sixth house is going to be expanding your horizons when it comes to humanitarian efforts, volunteer efforts. If you don't, for those of you that are not working, it's about how you are showing up and being of service right here, right now. So Jupiter will be bringing in not only blessings to this area of life. So I definitely encourage you, if you're not working, to kind of put yourself out there, because blessings are going to find their way to you with acts of service, doing acts of service, if that makes sense. Now, for those of you that are working though, Jupiter through the sixth house, I experienced this a couple years ago and it was really busy. Like, my workload increased, my side hustle here, so I don't do this full time. I do this kind of on the side. It really increased, which was amazing. But it was busy. It was very just generally busy. Your day to day is going to pick up. For those of you with kids and a very busy home life, family life, it's going to be running the kids here, running the kids there, the grandkids, or whoever your family is, or just day-to-day busyness with friends, family, loved ones, whatever the case may be. Because this is your house of duty and responsibility. And again, service. It's the house of work. It's the house of, how can I show up? How can I be of service? Whether it's volunteer, whether it's for paid work, whether it's for hobbies or pleasure or joy or having a good time, Pisces, it's whatever your circumstances are. So Jupiter is going to expand that. So Jupiter will bring in more into this area of life. So again, I think some of you will have an opportunity to upgrade your skill set, but also work, like change your work habits, changes in your work environment. Usually beneficial though, Pisces. Like, this is not a, like Saturn's not moving through here. It's not or Pluto, I should say too. It's not a challenging planet like Pluto. Oh goodness, sorry, it's been a long day. Jupiter is a benefic. He's the great benefic. He's a beneficial planet, Pisces. So yes, your day to day is going to increase. Your busyness, whatever that means to you or for you, is going to increase, but in beneficial ways, because he can also kick open doors in this area of life. And if you want to take advantage of them, I think you'd be surprised at the benefits and the opportunities that come towards you. For those of you that work a 9-to-5 grind, which there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, that's going to improve. Again, whether you get another job or your atmosphere, the environment, your coworkers, like this is beautiful energy coming into the workplace in general. Now, if you own a business, run a business, this area of life rules over people that work for you and work with you, Pisces, as an owner or a leader or whatever the case may be. So I love this for you. This is also excellent energy for finding the right talent, finding the right people to work with you, to work for you. Also around the house, Pisces, I'm just going to throw it out there because the sixth house is like service providers. It's like contractors. So if you need your house painted, your deck painted, your grass taken care of, Jupiter will actually help you find the right people to work with you and for you, even if it's from a personal perspective. So I like this from that angle as well. If you need someone to work on your website, or you need to hire a coach or something along those lines, Jupiter is going to connect you with somebody absolutely incredible. Sixth house is also health and well-being. Pisces, this is incredibly beneficial from a health perspective. I can also attest to this as well, not to make this about me, but yes, I went through this transit recently and I had to have surgery. Well, Jupiter was here. Mind you, other things were going on as well, like other placements in my chart. But in general, I connected to the right surgeon. I actually didn't even have it done in Canada. I went out of my own country to have it done, and it worked out. I was nervous about it, but it worked out because I found the right practitioner and it felt good. Pisces, you're one sign I don't have to tell this to, right? Like, you'll feel it. You'll just know it intuitively. Like, you are the 12th sign of the zodiac. You encompass every single sign. Did you know that? Like, you are the epitome of the wise old soul. And I'm not calling you old, by the way, but Jupiter being your ruler, you'll just know. And Jupiter will align the stars to connect you with the right practitioner. So if you're nervous or have to undergo anything over the next year, I am very confident to say Jupiter is in your corner. He will be helping you out if this is your true 6th house Pisces. Again, I'd have to see the rest of your birth chart to give you a confirmation on that. But all in all, really nice energy coming in from a health and well-being perspective, and also getting the help that you need. So whether it's mental, physical, emotional, psychological, whatever it is, Pisces, again, the right practitioners are going to show up for you. I'm very confident to say that. So that's a blessing in itself, because again, Jupiter brings in blessings and abundance wherever he goes. And yeah, he pushes you outside your comfort zone, right? So do your research, investigate. Maybe don't take one physician's perspective. Again, go with your intuition, Pisces. Go with your gut with that. Let's see here. Yeah, pets also, Pisces. I'll throw that out there. I mean, Jupiter could expand you from a furry pet perspective, or reptile, or whatever animals or pets you're into. Jupiter can definitely incorporate that into your lifestyle, because again, this is a change of lifestyle for you, Pisces. So this is a change of your day to day, or at least that's what Jupiter is asking you to do. Also, there's a global connection here, Pisces. So global connection to work, day to day. Again, if you own a business, run a business, hiring talent that, or connecting with people that you normally wouldn't connect to, or that you normally wouldn't give a leg up or a chance to. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised with Jupiter in that 6th house, because again, it offers you that kind of spiritual protection when he moves through this 6th house. Also, those of you own like rental housing, or well, this is also rental agreements and contracts. So if you're looking to move or relocate or lease something, Jupiter is going to help you out with that as well. But I'm thinking for those of you that, your income may be renting out a house or renting out your basement or whatever the case may be, Jupiter in here is a blessing as well. If you're looking for good renters, again, Jupiter here, I'm confident, will help you find the right people to live in your space. Or again, if you own other property, it's finding the right people that are either going to look after the property, take care of the property, or manage the property, or rent or live in the property or on the property, if that makes sense as well. 6th house is also uncles, aunts and uncles. It has like a relative feel to it, Pisces. So again, benefits coming in through them in some way, shape, or form. Sorry, I got fuzz on my face. Invisible fuzz. Benefits coming in through them in some way, shape, or form. Jupiter also rules your 10th house of career. So we also talked about the work angle. But also a status change could be coming up here with you too, Pisces. Nothing too crazy, depends on what's going on in your chart, of course, but this could be a change of status, or again, changing up something to do with your career, your work, what you're known for, Pisces. Maybe you don't get completely out of what you're doing, but it's about incorporating something new that you learn into your 9 to 5, into your day to day. Again, whether you own a business, run a business, or I heard something about working for the state. So maybe some of you are in the corporate world, like which I can, you know, definitely appreciate. But yeah, something's definitely going to be changing up in the work atmosphere if you want it to. Jupiter. Oh my goodness, Pisces. Sorry, folks. It's been a long day. All in all, Pisces, really nice energy coming into the 6th house. Let's see here. I want to make sure I didn't forget anything else. Oh, and habits too, my friends. Jupiter is indulgence. Same with Leo energy. So just be sure not to pick up dirty habits. All of us will really want to indulge with this transit because, you know, Jupiter and Leo want to go big. So I'll just put it out there as a caution of you could overindulge, Pisces, but I'm hopeful with Jupiter in here, you'll be able to kind of catch that. Or maybe you have a dirty habit right now that you're trying to kick. Jupiter will help you out with that. Definitely will help you out with that. Also the connection with, at some point, Saturn. Saturn will make a connection with Jupiter. That's also kind of like cleaning up your health, your well-being, your diet. All in all, Jupiter in here, like I said, is a protector of your health. But he can also bring something to your attention because, again, he's big and gassy, right? Like he expands on everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, Pisces. So something during this transit might come into your awareness, or again, you might find out that you have to have surgery or something done, or they find something. But the good news is the right people will be there to help you from a medical perspective, if that makes sense. So I don't want that to scare you because, again, like I said, I went through this transit personally, and yeah, it was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise, and things just lined up, Pisces. So that was my experience. I'm not saying you're going to have the same one, but this is your ruler. I'm not ruled by Jupiter. So, or Jupiter's not my ruler. So I'm hopeful for those of you that are going through some health challenges, Jupiter here over the next year is really going to help you out. And like I mentioned, if there's anything you got to kick, like a dirty habit or something along those lines, I am also hopeful that Jupiter will bring it to your awareness enough that you have to make those changes. You have to make those dietary changes. And Saturn coming in from that 2nd house of ingestion and the face, I'm really hopeful anything that we put on our face or put in our face, that because it could also be up the nose or ingesting it, right? Or anything even we put into the eyes. That's sort of the 2nd house. It's a way of things getting into the body is what I'm getting at. So I'm hopeful of the connection here with the 2nd house and 6th house to help you out with those health and well-being and dietary restrictions even could be coming in with these transits as well, Pisces. But anyway, I feel like I'm nattering on. All in all, really nice transit, Pisces. Just a different energy. You know, your ruler is kind of out of sight, out of mind for now, but he's still working away in the background for you. So enjoy this transit, Pisces. Lean into those new career opportunities for sure, and humanitarian efforts, travel as well. Work or volunteer efforts could lead you to travel this year as well. So, or work opportunities abroad, I should say, as well, could be coming in for you over the next year. So enjoy this transit, my friends, and we'll see you back here in the next video. Bye for now.